A lot of them. Vintage ceiling tiles from once great old buildings in New York City that make for ultra-unique artwork. These items are definitely hard to find from anywhere else around here. So come take a look, and you'll probably find a treasure. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
If you're looking to plan your next global experience, let Fox World Travel's vacation experts handcraft your next journey to Europe. In partnership with Globus, Insight Vacations, and Avalon Waterways, we've created outstanding itineraries with exclusive experiences to Iceland, Croatia, Spain, Portugal, and more. Or we can fully customize a journey based on your interests. Visit foxworldtravel.com or call 866-GO-FOX-GO. Join us and make memories to last a lifetime.
Stay up to date with your trusted and relevant source in news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 12 o'clock. I'm Greg Matzek. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Tuesday, December 30th. Your top story, influenza sweeping the nation.
I'm Neil Doyle in for Jessica Ty, holding out hope in the Lone Star State.
Cloudy today with a chance of snow in the evening, a high of 28 degrees. Tonight, snow flurries possible, low of 22. New Year's Eve, mostly cloudy with a high of 28. 16 degrees and cloudy in Milwaukee at 12:01. From the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom, parts of Wisconsin are seeing an uptick in severe flu cases. Recent data from the Department of Health Services shows very high activity for influenza in the southeastern portion of the state. Milwaukee Chief Health Policy Advisor Dr. Ben Weston on WTMJ.
If you're having just mild symptoms, usually over-the-counter medications, ibuprofen, acetaminophen, or Tylenol can help reduce those fever and ease your symptoms. If you're getting more serious symptoms, and particularly if you're in a higher risk group and you get flu, there are prescription antivirals, such as Tamiflu. And these can not just lessen symptoms and shorten the time you're sick, but most importantly, they can prevent that progression to severe disease that can affect certain people.
Health officials say a new influenza strain and holiday gatherings are contributing to an increase in cases.
Not just Wisconsin, but other parts of the country hard hit by the spread of the flu as well. The CDC set to release updated numbers later this afternoon, but as of this morning, more than 50 million cases of influenza have been reported across the country.
Federal officials continue to investigate claims of federal funding fraud in Minnesota. CBS News reporter Jonah Kaplan.
Governor Tim Walz here in Minnesota has defended his administration's handling of the fraud scandal. Federal prosecutors have identified 14 Medicaid-supported programs that are considered high risk for fraud, and new licenses have been frozen here in the state. Child care, though, is not one of those 14 programs in the new year. We expect fresh indictments in the widening fraud probe. Jonah Kaplan, CBS News, Minneapolis.
More than 90 people are already facing various charges from those investigations.
The family of Camila Mendoza Olmos is holding out hope for her safe return. The 19-year-old has been missing since Christmas Eve when she left her home in San Antonio without her phone. CBS reporter Karen Hua is in Texas.
New dashcam video released by Bexar County Sheriff's officials could show Texas teenager Camila Mendoza Olmos moments after she went missing Christmas Eve morning.
It certainly does match up with what she was wearing at the time.
6 days into the search, officials say the FBI is involved, and Homeland Security is monitoring border crossings as dozens of volunteers search locally.
The local sheriff there says they're investigating all possibilities and urging people to reach out if they have any information.
A 26-year-old is dead after a shooting on Milwaukee's northwest side. Milwaukee police say the suspect fired multiple shots into the victim's vehicle near 59th and Hadley Avenue about 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon. No one has been arrested.
The parent company of Pick and Save will provide a 20% discount on fruits and vegetables for people using government assistance programs.
Kroger is launching the Verified Savings Program for anyone using SNAP, Food Share, WIC, or Medicaid. Once enrolled, participants will receive discounts through the end of January 2026, with savings loaded automatically to their accounts. The announcement comes after Kroger said it plans to close 60 locations across the U.S. through the end of 2026. Elizabeth Linton in WTMJ News.
Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Not a lot of movement today, but everything in the red. The Dow is off about 64 points at 48,398, and the Nasdaq is down about 20 this afternoon at 23,455. S&P 500 bouncing back and forth, currently 3 points in the red at 6902. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Financial planning at every level. For details, visit annexwealth.com.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 12:05.
It's a robber, and if you ignore it, it will just keep taking and taking. I know how pain can consume you. It steals the fun out of life. It steals your energy. And it's just a dark cloud over a lot of people's lives, even on the sunniest of days. But your joint pain does not have to rob you of your life or your happiness. Because at Rejuvenex, we can alleviate your pain, and that can rejuvenate your life. In a world where big box healthcare has driven pain treatment costs through the roof and has made it look like joint replacements are your only option, Rejuvenex has kept pain treatment affordable for almost anyone. And for most with insurance, including Medicare and Medicaid, we've seen pain treatment paid for by insurance with zero out-of-pocket cost to our patients. This is Rejuvenex founder Richard Salinas. Don't let pain rob you. Take action today so we can help make your joint pain go away.
Rejuvenex. Alleviate your pain. Rejuvenate your life.
Call today, and there's a good chance we'll see you tomorrow.
Recently, a seller that unfortunately ended up choosing another agent called me. She said she made a mistake, and what she was expressing to me sounded like she kind of was bullied into signing with him. Is it typical? Not always, but it will never happen when you hire a Century 21 Benefit Realty agent. I want our agents to be able to look in the mirror and say, I'd want to work with me. Not because they're good at saying what you want to hear or offer the lowest commission, but because of trust. Because if you're not feeling that from your agent, that's a problem. And I don't want that. At 1.9% on the listing side of your sale with our commission capped at $19,000, Century 21 Benefit Realty leads with a very fair and transparent commission structure with maximum marketing that can get your home sold fast and for the best price. And saving money matters, but working with someone who'll tell you exactly what you need to know up front, that creates trust. And that matters too. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. Packers are locked into the number 7 seed in the NFC. They'll need a win 3 games on the road in the postseason to reach the Super Bowl.
I think it's the mindset anytime, any place, anywhere. You just got to be ready to play ball. And can it be more challenging on the road? Absolutely. But I think that's where your preparation comes into play, making sure you're dialed in, focused. You know, the communication can be a little bit of a problem, especially in a playoff type atmosphere. But our guys have been through that. So it's not something that's overly concerning to me as long as we put in the work.
Packers wrap up the regular season against the Vikings on Sunday before facing the Bears or Eagles on Wild Card Weekend. Linebacker Micah Parsons undergoes successful ACL surgery. And the Bucs win back-to-back games to wrap up a 5-game road trip. The team returns home to face the Wizards Wednesday night. College basketball tonight. Marquette on the home floor against Big East power Seton Hall. Hear the game on 84.5 ESPN at 6 o'clock. And the Wisconsin Badgers take on Wisconsin-Milwaukee tonight at the Kohl Center for a 6 o'clock tip. Badger Sports Updates, sponsored by Siding Unlimited.
Let's take a look at the roads, your WTMJ time saver traffic. Just one kind of minor issue to report. This has been going on for the last hour or so. Wisconsin 175 south, right near West State Street. Part of the right shoulder, there's a little bit of debris there, so it's causing you to kind of scoot over a little bit. Not really causing any major delays, so there's been that kind of ongoing for the last hour. Otherwise, just a few disabled vehicles across the system, but everything moving along nicely.
Well, the clouds are here to stay today with a chance of evening snow. High of 28, low of 22. New Year's Eve, mostly cloudy, high of 28. Thursday, New Year's Day, sun is out, or it will be, with a high of just 16 degrees. Partly sunny on Friday and a high of 22. 16 degrees and cloudy in Milwaukee at 12:09.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzek, and in for Jessica Ty, it's Neil Doyle.
Oh, hey, everybody. 12:09 here at WTMJ. New Year's Eve. It's kind of one of those weird weeks where you think you're supposed to have off on Friday, but you don't. Don't forget about that. But I am one of those people that doesn't really understand why New Year's Day is a day off. I'll gladly take it. Don't get me wrong. A lot of football to watch, but it's just one of those days. Just seems like a day to me.
Well, don't take it away from us, Greg.
I certainly won't. I certainly won't. Some big stories that we're settling into here as we hit 12:09 on a Tuesday.
It's now at noon on Wisconsin's Midday News.
National Guard troops arriving in New Orleans today to help secure the city's New Year's Eve celebrations 1 year after the deadly truck attack on Bourbon Street. CBS News correspondent Michael Wallace.
Hundreds of Guard members will help with road closures around the French Quarter and other locations. Troops were also in the Big Easy earlier this year for Mardi Gras and the Super Bowl. Chris Wolf works security for the Bourbon Street nightclub, The Beach on Bourbon.
I don't think it hurts to have some National Guard guys out here. I mean, somebody did it once. Doesn't mean that they won't do it again, or at least try.
New Orleans police say the Guard troops will not be involved in the ongoing immigration enforcement in the city. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
So 350 members of the Guard were called upon by Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry, ultimately approved by President Trump. Guard troops going to focus on the French Quarter and Bourbon Street area. No big surprise there. But their deployment is expected to run through the end of February. Just think about the massive events they have in New Orleans. Well, pretty much every month of the calendar year, right? Major convention city. But add in New Year's Eve, the Sugar Bowl, Mardi Gras, all happening here in the first couple months of the calendar year. You understand why that deployment is a couple of months long.
Putting those protections in place, that's for sure. Holiday gatherings, of course, lots of people together. The winter weather causing people to be kind of shut indoors more. All of that leading to a bit of an uptick in flu cases, not only in different parts of the country, but that also includes some upticks here in Wisconsin. Most recent data from the Department of Health Services showing the southeastern part of the state currently rated as having a very high activity for different cases of influenza, other respiratory illnesses as well. All of that kind of causing a little bit of concern for some health officials. Milwaukee County Chief Health Policy Advisor Dr. Ben Weston telling WTMJ.
And really, the best way to protect yourself, of course, is getting that annual flu shot. Now, hopefully you've gotten it already. We're getting pretty late in the season. But flu strains change every year, so staying up to date gives you the best protection. And even though we're late, it still is worth getting. You can still build up that protection before we hit the peak of flu season.
It's certainly one thing a lot of health officials are saying, look, not too late to get that flu shot, which can kind of help, prevent some of the severe illness. Hospitalizations statewide up about 19% due to influenza over the last 2 weeks. I had something 2 weeks ago. Pretty sure it was influenza. It was not fun. So
No, I can't imagine it was. Yeah. It was kind of running through the area here at our market hall, no doubt. And finally, just a crazy story here, but the search for Malaysia Airlines flight MH370. May not have heard about that in a long time, but it resumes today, more than a decade after the plane disappeared with 239 people on board. There's a company, Ocean Infinity. It's a robotics company. They're on the case here. Now, they tried to do this back in April, searching the floor of the Indian Ocean, but they had a comprehensive search effort that was called off due to bad weather. So it was tabled for quite a bit, and now it is back on the table. The Malaysian Transport Ministry announced this month that the search of the seabed would be conducted intermittently over the course of 55 days, beginning today. So Ocean Infinity is going to search a 5,800 square mile site in the Indian Ocean using a fleet of Hugin 6000 autonomous underwater vehicles capable of creating 3D maps of the ocean floor at depths of up to 6,000 meters.
Wow.
This is crazy. This flight is one of the great mysteries in aviation. It was heading from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing on March 8th, back in the day here, before veering off course. Well, a report in 2018 concluded the aircraft was likely manually turned off course, but investigators have no idea who was responsible for the whole thing going down, or a motive, or anything. Was it hijacked? Was it the pilot just kind of taking matters into his own? Nobody knows what happened to this thing. A decade later, the search continues. Unbelievable story. 12:14 here on WTMJ. We check in with ABC investigative reporter Peter Haralambous on the other side. Brian Cole at a hearing today. What are the details of it? The man who said he put 2 pipe bombs down prior to the January 6th insurrection in 2021. What are the charges pending? What are the happenings in court today? Just getting started here on Wisconsin's Midday News.
A buck doesn't buy much unless you're spending it at Griffin. For just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. We'll even show you the invoice to prove it. Our only requirements, we put them on for you. Buy one or the whole set. The dollar deal from Griffin. Milwaukee and Waukesha. Griffin. The buck stops here, but the deals on tires don't. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers.
My husband's an animal in bed.
Well, you know.
Not in the fun way. Think warthog. With a chainsaw.
Snoring and sleep apnea affect over 90 million people, and 1 out of 4 couples sleep in separate rooms. Advent can help. We've been Milwaukee's one-stop solution for nasal congestion, snoring, and sleep apnea for over 20 years. Unlike many other practices, we focus exclusively on these conditions, so you get comprehensive care under one roof. Advent's unique approach can help you breathe and sleep better, and many avoid a CPAP. Plus, most insurance is accepted for our effective 20-minute in-office treatments.
Hey, the only animal you want in your bed is your dog.
Advent. Sleep better. Sleep together. Learn how you can improve your life at adventknows.com.
John Gillespie here. I spent a lot of cold mornings waiting for the big bite, and the right gear makes all the difference. That's why I head to Fleet Farm. Right now, you can get a Nordic Legend 2-person ice house for $109.99. Save $100 on a Vexilar FLX 18 Gens ice flasher and a Fravel Arctic Fire tip-up for just $19.99. Gear up this season with help from Fleet Farm, your ice fishing headquarters.
Well, chilly temperatures continue. A lot of clouds today. Highs topping out in the low to mid-20s. Overnight lows right around 20 degrees. Pretty similar conditions for your New Year's Eve. The sun returns on Friday with a high of just 22. New Year's Day, I skipped over that one here. Mostly sunny with a high of 16 degrees. It is 16 degrees and cloudy in Milwaukee at 12:16. So Neil Doyle's my co-host today. Jessica's out, so he'll be popping in with a couple of questions as well.
Sounds great.
All right, we are up and running. I think we're good to go. All right, here we are in 3, 2, and 1. Well, Brian Cole, the now 30-year-old man who confessed to placing 2 pipe bombs on Capitol Hill the night before the January 6th Capitol attack in 2021, appearing at a court hearing today. ABC investigative reporter Peter Haralambous is covering. Hi, Peter.
Hi, thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, appreciate having you on here. What is the nature of the hearing today?
Yeah, so at this point, we're expecting to get a status update on the case itself. This comes after the case was broken after 5 years earlier this month. The individual here, Brian Cole Jr., has so far pleaded not guilty, but there's been some really material changes in this case. According to investigators, over the last month, over the course of many interviews, he confessed to his alleged crimes, walked investigators through how he was able to pull it off, and explained his motive, saying that this was separate from what was happening on Congress that day, and that he was frustrated with both political parties.
Will there be something in particular prosecutors are trying to argue today, specifically during this hearing?
Yeah, so at this point, prosecutors are very keen on arguing to ensure that Mr. Cole stays incarcerated ahead of trial. His lawyers have pushed back against that, saying that, their client, previously they've argued that their client is innocent, that he was living a very normal life in Virginia before this arrest really kind of imploded his life, and that he didn't really pose a risk to the community. But they're now arguing, prosecutors are arguing that, Brian Cole allegedly admitted his role in this crime and that he posed a very serious risk to doing harm, potentially killing people with these pipe bombs, and that he's confessed for these alleged crimes, walking them through why he did it, how he was able to do it, and how he was able to evade arrest for nearly 5 years. So that will really be the argument front and center today, whether or not he stays incarcerated. At some point over the next few weeks, we do expect there'll be a superseding indictment in the case with new charges filed in addition to the federal explosive charges he already faces, now that we're learning more about the case itself.
Just to clarify, Peter, has he entered a plea or did he ever? Because he's now admitted, or at least confessed allegedly, to committing these crimes. If he had entered a previous plea of not guilty, I wonder what happens to that.
Yeah, things have fundamentally changed since he was arrested and charged earlier this month. He was originally charged with a kind of a lesser indictment focusing on the explosive charges. he has denied those at first. The problem now becomes kind of the really material changes here. His defense lawyers will have to see what their approach is now. They've highlighted in the past in court filings that their defendant is severely autistic and that could potentially be used to cast doubt on how this confession was obtained. Or we'll see if they try at this point to work out some kind of plea deal. We really don't know quite the direction this case is going to go after such a revelation with this confession, but we'll get a sense of that later today when he appears in court around 1 p.m. Eastern time, and we'll see how it goes from there.
Yeah, how odd has this case kind of been to you, Peter? Just again, obviously the nature of it. It was several years, we didn't really know a suspect, and then all of a sudden it comes out earlier this month that they make this arrest. And as you mentioned, initially Brian Cole denying involvement, but now prosecutors saying he's admitted to it. It certainly seems like this has taken some turns.
Yeah, this is in many ways a baffling case. And in a way, despite the fact that they have a confession, it's still very much confusing in terms of how he was able to pull this off and what exactly was his motive. And beyond that, why it took so long to get some kind of break in this case. Ultimately, we'll see a bit more on that. We understand that, according to the Department of Justice, it was really just a matter of time and resources that led to this break. But we also understand that beyond that, there's this question of additional evidence that they were able to access in recent months that helped lead to this break. We'll really see where it goes from there. But in a way, we're really understanding this crime for the first time. This is something that has bedeviled investigators for 5 years. It's been the subject of multiple conspiracy theories about what might have motivated someone to take action in this way. And now that we're getting an understanding of what actually might have motivated the defendants here, it's even more confusing in a way. It doesn't really click with what anyone bet the suspect would be. He's really this unassuming guy from suburban Virginia, and what his motivation might have been, really going against what I think a lot of the standard expectations were.
Peter, is it clear after 5 years what the breakthrough was that led the FBI to Cole?
Apparently there was some cell phone data that was obtained years ago that was corrupted. So basically, they had the files themselves, but because of a technical issue, they couldn't access them. My understanding is that over the course of the last few months, they were able to make a break in accessing that data. That cell phone data on top of the ton of other evidence really led to that break. But according to investigators, this was done without no new witness or no new, video. This was really just a matter of looking hard at the evidence they already had, kind of taking a second swing at some of that evidence, and then layering it all together once they had access to it. They're saying that this is a case in a way that could have been solved years ago had the right resources and techniques been applied.
Following today's hearing, Peter, what are the next steps?
So we'll have to see if there is actually a superseding indictment in this case. Again, he's facing federal explosive charges, which are very serious, but now that we know a little bit more about the scope of the crime and there's more details about this case, we could very well see a new indictment. Prosecutors have previewed that in some of their court filings. And then it goes to a question of trial time. Is there going to be a trial in this case? And if so, how would they challenge this kind of allegation if their client has truly given a confession in detail to investigators? We'll get a sense of that over the next, potentially today and potentially over the next few weeks as we see how this case is going to move forward.
Oh, it's great information. ABC's Peter Haralambous. We appreciate it, Peter. Thank you.
Thanks so much for having me.
Time to get your furnace ready to work this winter. Vince Vitrano here with my HVAC guy, Ryan Sopa at Urban Heating and Cooling. Ryan, you're doing furnace tune-ups now.
Correct. We're starting to do furnace maintenance, making sure your furnace is ready for the upcoming cold weather.
You do all that for less than $100. You can save big, though, if you spend that money up front, right? Make sure this thing is good.
Correct. I mean, if we come in there and do a maintenance on your furnace, so it can help prevent major breakdowns for the next season.
Thanks, Ryan. Contact them now at urbanheatingandcooling.com. urbanheatingandcooling.com.
You've noticed a change in your teen. They seem distant, and you wonder if it's the usual ups and downs or something deeper, like substance use or mental health struggles. If you're worried, why wait to reach out? Hazelden Betty Ford offers specialized care for teens and young adults, plus support for families. Call 1-855-489-2383 or visit wegotyou.org, because love doesn't wait for a crisis, and change starts when you do. Sponsored by Hazelden Betty Ford Foundation.
Hey,
Hey, John Mercure here for Mend Studios. You deserve to feel better. You deserve to feel healthy. You deserve to feel great about yourself. Mend Studios has a long-term wellness as the goal. That's how they're going to do it. That's how they're going to take care of you. I know and trust the therapists at Mend Studio. They customize every single treatment, and they've got multiple locations. They're in Mequon and Brookfield, both convenient, both easy to get to. Start at the website, mendstudio.com. I never feel better than I do after a session at Mend. Mendstudio.com.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
All week long, we're dipping back into some of the more notable stories here from around the country. Some big themes with our news partners at ABC, including a year in review on the U.S. economy.
A U.S. economy that's either booming or on the brink of collapse. The 2025 economic picture can be summarized in one word: tariffs. In March, President Trump announced a plan to impose steep new fees on imported steel and aluminum, setting off trade disputes over countless items from nearly 100 countries. By mid-year, Trump was comfortable declaring victory.
Energy is down. We have interest rates are down. Everything is down at levels that nobody ever thought possible.
Other indicators are less convincing, says University of Michigan economics and public policy professor Justin Wolfers.
We've now got unemployment almost up to 4.5%, the highest rate in 4.5 years.
Trump's other major policy initiative has been an immigration crackdown, with the result, he says, that
we have strong borders now. We have a great economy.
But Wolfers is concerned going into 2026.
Next year's economy is going to see the tariffs hit, and it's going to see an enormous slowdown in immigration and in population growth.
And that could help to determine whether a recession is on the way. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Yeah, it's really been a strange year when it comes to what the markets have done, interest rates, tariffs, and usually the markets, Neil, they don't like uncertainty, right? And when tariffs were talked about, there was some pretty big dips in the markets. They have since rebounded quite a bit. In fact, we're seeing record highs across the board. So it's almost like consumer spending in the midst of all this other stuff is still happening. Interest rates are going down. The markets remain robust. Usually these things kind of work together, and now you've got almost competing forces, and people saying, oh, screw it, I'm still investing. I still have to buy. We still got to put food on the table. Prices are what they are. We're kind of doing what we can.
Yeah, I mean, tariffs, I think it felt like days, at least for us, kind of covering the news or just being in the know. I mean, tariffs are getting talked about every day. I don't see them going away in 2026, but it's going to be interesting to kind of see how that plays out even more.
Yeah, it was a little bit of whiplash, right?
Yeah.
10% here, 35% here, and then it was kind of a negotiation stance, and there were conversations. Some tariffs went away, some came back. The cost of a vanity, if you buy it from a furniture store, got pretty out of hand. And certain items coming into the grocery store, it was very difficult to follow. I looked at it from a market perspective and thought, well, this is going to be a very interesting time in the markets after a hit, or really bounced back and have taken off quite a bit. So we're talking about all the indices being down, but still being at record highs as we approach the end of the year. 1227 on News Radio 620 WTMJ. Big weekend coming up here at the Pettit National Ice Center. Some of the best speed skaters in the world are on their way to Milwaukee. We'll get the details from Kevin Butler coming up after the 1230 news. And now about your house. It's where you live, but do you also live in your yard? My friends at Outdoor Living Unlimited help people extend their home, living beyond the wall. Your imagination may be somewhat limited, so let's call on Eric Brown, president of Outdoor Living Unlimited, to expand upon it.
I'm confident that 90% of the listeners can look outside their home and dream of a better, nicer, way more outstanding backyard. If you're one of the many, you'll need to call Outdoor Living Unlimited. Outdoor Living Unlimited's expert team can design a beautiful, functional, usable backyard space. Then our team can build it. You dream it, we build it. New deck, outdoor kitchen, pavers, retaining walls, screen room. How about a must-see automated pergola that doubles as a screen room? Picture this, a pergola that allows the sunlight through the slats, but with the press of a button, those slats close and now you have protection. Another press of the button and the screens roll down. there's your screen room. The ideas are endless. We recently built a brand new deck with a screen room pergola on top and stairs that lead to a paver oasis complete with a fire pit and seat walls. Amazing. New deck, outdoor kitchen, screen room, automated pergola. Let Outdoor Living Unlimited design and build the amazing backyard. Find us at OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
See all the cool things that Outdoor Living Unlimited can do for your yard on their Instagram page, or visit their unique outside-in showroom in Waukesha. And if you're looking outside of your home, dreaming of a more beautiful and functional, usable backyard, well, Outdoor Living Unlimited can design and build you an amazing showstopper of a deck, patio, complete with pergola and fire pit, just like they did for us. With expert care, Outdoor Living Unlimited installed a beautiful paver patio, complete with land and stone retaining wall, all sorts of space, room for a built-in kitchen, and complete with a gas fire pit. It's where we spend all of our time. Visit OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com. It's 12:30. I'm Greg Matzek. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Tuesday, December 30th. Your top story, flu cases number in the millions.
I'm Neil Doyle, in for Jessica Ty. An influx of federal funds to support healthcare.
Cloudy with a chance of evening snow flurries tonight and a high of 28. Snow flurries expected this evening and a low of 22. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, a high of 28 degrees. Sun returns the following day with a high of just 16.
ABC News, I'm Mike Dubusky. New data from the Centers for Disease Control finds flu cases are on the rise, with about 7.5 million estimated cases this season, 81,000 hospitalizations, and over 3,000 deaths. We're still waiting on some key details regarding that U.S. strike on a Venezuelan dock, specifically whether the strike came from the CIA or the U.S. military.
We know that this 30th strike killed 2 individuals who were aboard, and it kind of indicates that, once again, there's this continuing pressure against these, the movement, the flow of these drugs northward towards the United States. As we've been mentioning repeatedly, the flow of drugs through the Eastern Pacific is actually the one that is the most direct route to the United States. The ones in the Caribbean, even though they come directly from Venezuela, in effect, they are not really directly coming towards the United States. At some point, it seems that they're either going to third countries or potentially even to Europe.
ABC's Louis Martinez. It marks an escalation from the strikes the U.S. carried out on alleged drug boats in the Caribbean. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 12:31. A new influenza strain and holiday gatherings are contributing to this increase in flu cases across Wisconsin. Milwaukee County Chief Health Policy Advisor Dr. Ben Weston on WTMJ.
Now, if you're in one of these high-risk groups, it's important to contact your doctor right when flu symptoms begin so that you can get the right medications and the right care. Now, if you're otherwise healthy, you may still want to seek medical care if certain symptoms are getting serious, things like trouble breathing or high fever, for example.
According to the most recent data from the Department of Health Services, the southeastern part of the state currently has very high activity for influenza.
Wisconsin set to receive over $200 million in funding to support rural health care. Part of the Trump administration's $50 billion Rural Health Transformation Program aimed at helping rural communities across the country. The fund will be used to strengthen the rural health care workforce, modernize facilities and technology, and deploy high-quality health services to rural communities. Wisconsin will receive the funding for the next 5 years.
The University of Wisconsin-Madison, once again, a top university when it comes to national research. According to the National Science Foundation, UW-Madison increased its overall research expenditures by 11% to a record high $1.9 billion. Nearly half of UW's total research expenditures come from federal awards. The last time the university was in the top 5 nationally was 2014.
A man in critical condition after being hit by a car in Kenosha. Police say it happened late Sunday night on 18th Street on Kenosha's north side. They found a 25-year-old man lying in the roadway, suffering from head and leg injuries. He was taken to a trauma center in Milwaukee, remains in critical condition. Investigators determined that he was hit by a car while walking across the street. They're still looking for that suspected driver.
Cold and breezy conditions return to Wisconsin as we head into the new year. TMJ4 Chief Meteorologist Brian Niznansky on Wisconsin's Morning News.
We're looking at temperatures that are going to be in the 20s, so typical, and then eventually once that cold front moves through, dipping into the single digits, and wind chills will be well below zero. Again, this is for New Year's Eve, probably I would say 8 o'clock and on, and then when you wake up New Year's Day morning, some locations could be hovering around zero.
Your complete 5-day forecast is coming out.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 12:34.
If you're looking to plan your next global experience, let Fox World Travel's vacation experts handcraft your next journey to Europe. In partnership with Globus, Insight Vacations, and Avalon Waterways, we've created outstanding itineraries with exclusive experiences to Iceland, Croatia, Spain, Portugal, and more. Or we can fully customize a journey based on your interests. Visit foxworldtravel.com or call 866-GO-FOX-GO. Join us and make memories to last a lifetime.
Hey fellas, are you feeling off of your game? If you feel like something is holding you back, connect with the medical professionals at Game Day Men's Health. WTMJ's Greg Matzek here. Game Day Men's Health helps guys regain their youthful edge with hormone replacement, vitamin therapy, personalized weight loss plans, plus EPAT therapy, which I've used for injuries such as plantar fasciitis or tennis elbow. And it's all under the care of experienced medical professionals. A free consultation at their clinic in Brookfield, Shorewood, Germantown, or Delafield. Game Day Men's Health. Get back in the game.
Recently, a seller that unfortunately ended up choosing another agent called me. She said she made a mistake, and what she was expressing to me sounded like she kind of was bullied into signing with him. Is it typical? Not always, but it will never happen when you hire a Century 21 Benefit Realty agent. I want our agents to be able to look in the mirror and say, I'd want to work with me. Not because they're good at saying what you want to hear or offer the lowest commission, but because of trust. Because if you're not feeling that from your agent, that's a problem. And I don't want that. At 1.9% on the listing side of your sale with our commission capped at $19,000, Century 21 Benefit Realty leads with a very fair and transparent commission structure with maximum marketing that can get your home sold fast and for the best price. And saving money matters, but working with someone who'll tell you exactly what you need to know up front, that creates trust. And that matters too. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
Drafty windows means wasted money. Call Siding Unlimited today for energy-efficient replacement windows and doors and start saving now. For a free estimate and honest price guarantee, go to sidingunlimited.com.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports desk. The Bucks wrap up a 5-game road trip with back-to-back wins. A return home to face the Wizards on Wednesday. Milwaukee earning those wins with Giannis back on the floor. That's key, according to Miles Turner.
His impact is obviously immeasurable, but I think his leadership's been great since he's been back. Even when he was out, man, he was talking a lot. But, having him out on the floor, being the general, just being the dominant player that he is, definitely helping us. But, I think we're starting to get back to our ways. And, now it's about consistency.
Big night of college basketball with Marquette on the home floor, continuing Big East play against Seton Hall. Here, the game on 94.5 ESPN at 6 o'clock. And it's a 6 o'clock tip in Madison for the Wisconsin Badgers against Bart Lundy's Milwaukee Panthers. Badger Sports Updates presented by Siding Unlimited. Truly siding and a whole lot more.
Let's take a look at the roads. Your WTMJ time saver traffic certainly kind of feels like we're on a holiday week. And I don't want to jinx anything, but everything's kind of moving along nicely. We do have a little slowdown, kind of what's typical in our construction zone on 94. So westbound, that kind of starts at 35th Street. You'll tap the brakes until you get past the stadium. And then also a little bit of a slowdown eastbound there on 94 starting at 76th. Otherwise, everything else moving along nicely.
Temperatures today topping out in the upper 20s. Some flurries expected. Overnight low 22, 27 the high on Wednesday. Thursday, looking at a high of 16 degrees under mostly sunny skies. Should see a little more cloud coverage as we round out the week with highs back into the mid to upper 20s. 17 degrees, mostly cloudy in Milwaukee at 12:38. Well, a big weekend here in Milwaukee. The 2026 U.S. Olympic Speed Skating Team Trials get underway on Friday, and they run through Monday, January 5th. It's all taking place at the Pettit National Ice Center. Neil, I'm old enough to remember when they used to conduct this outdoors in West Allis on like an oval ice. It was like 4 degrees outside. People would just be raw and be televised on NBC's Wide World of Sports. We've come a long way since then.
Now indoors.
Now indoors. Thank you to the wonderful contributions and charity and philanthropy of the Pettits. A wonderful event. Some of the best skaters in the world will be here in the city of Milwaukee, including a local and hometown favorite here, Jordan Stoltz, and more. It all gets underway on Friday. Kevin Butler, the director of marketing for the Pettit National Ice Center, joins us here as preparations are in high gear. Hi, Kevin.
Hey, Greg, how you doing?
Remember those days, right, in the Oval? You not enough chapstick and Vaseline to wipe on your face to keep you from freezing out there watching speed skaters?
I was not around at that point, but I do hear of the stories from Bonnie and Eric Hyden and everything else, and it's really incredible stories. You'd hear stories of the plow trucks coming down the freeway, and the salt dust would kick up and kind of land on the ice and kind of make the ice a little less than ideal conditions. So no issues like that at the Pet Center this week. Hopefully pristine ice and hopefully fast times.
Yeah, what kind of preparations go into hosting this kind of event, Kevin? From hospitality, making sure all the athletes are properly taken care of, making sure the ice is perfect. I mean, there's so much that goes into this.
Yeah, it's at a very busy time of the year for us, as I'm sure you know, and this is holiday week, which is typically a very busy public skating time for us. So we've had to cut that off. Actually, stopped it on Sunday night, and basically all day yesterday we've transformed the arena from public skating and hockey and figure skating to taking down glass and nets and things like that, and putting up signage and everything else. The place looks completely different than if you're a typical customer of the Pettit Center. And it's been probably about 9 months of hard work to get us where we are, and the ice is being dialed in as we speak this week, and we'll be ready to roll come Friday at 5:30 when the racing starts.
I know there's a lot of history, obviously, Kevin, of speed skating in the Milwaukee area, but does it feel like maybe there's even a little more excitement going into this year's trials? You've hosted the last couple, but I believe back 2022, the last one was very different because there were still some issues with COVID, so there weren't even fans allowed. So I would imagine there's got to be a little buzz going into this year.
You're absolutely right. It's a lot more fun this time around. So in 2018, we had it for the first time in 20 years, and that was a big deal. That also coincided with our 25th anniversary. 2022, we were all geared up, and ticket sales were really, really good. And then at the kind of a couple days before, there was a decision made, not by us, but by U.S. Speed Skating and USOPC not to allow spectators. So that kind of took the wind out of our sails, so to speak. But this time around, we're all looking good, and ticket sales have been really strong. We can't thank the Milwaukee community enough for the support of the event. Saturday and Sunday are sold out. Friday, there's about maybe 200 tickets left, so that will go before Friday. Monday, there's a little bit more. But we're grateful for the excitement. I think you're spot on. I think people are hungry to see the Olympics. Maybe you can't go to Italy, but you can see part of it here.
That is the amazing part about this, Kevin. Quite literally, you'll be watching these people on TV, in a couple of months in Italy going for the gold, including a local product. There's always a great story and event surrounding local talent, and there always seems to be local talent at the speed skating level in the state of Wisconsin. Jordan Stoltz, a great example here.
Yeah, I mean, the best male skater in the world. I mean, I think that kind of sums it all. He had a great World Cup season. He's poised to do well at the Olympics. Obviously, you got to get there and do it, but clearly he's got the talent, the ability, the drive. He's got everything that it takes to do very, very well. And so it's great to have him here. He's based in Milwaukee, or based in Wisconsin as far as training-wise. He trains at the Pettit Center when he's in town. And so we're grateful to have him here. Hopefully he kind of, I think you had that, the Dan Jansen and Bonnie Blair back in the day kind of inspired a realm of speed skaters. I think Jordan certainly could be that for the young skater as well. He's a young man himself, I think 21. And so he can, has that relatability-ness that hopefully can grow the sport of speed skating here locally.
You talk about how good Jordan's been and his local ties and training there at the Pettit. Yeah. Do you think, though, that adds any nerves for him? I mean, going in, even though you're at the top of your sport right now, I would imagine there's still a little bit of nervousness.
I would think so. I haven't spoken to him personally about that. I would think there's probably a little, and obviously he knows how many people are going to be there cheering him on. But he's just a different type of athlete. He's just so focused and so. He's been in those high pressure moments at these World Cups where he's winning all around the world, and so you're right. It's a little bit more maybe just being at home, and maybe he just puts more pressure on himself trying to maybe beat a track record or whatever it might be. So we're excited for it. We're grateful, like I said, for all the support of it, and I'm sure he's excited. We're all excited. The athletes are starting to roll in now. They were training here this morning. So they'll be here all week, and then come Friday, we'll be ready to rock and roll.
Kevin, I'm curious what the athletes say about the ice. I mean, my background in college was track and field, and there's certain tracks that were fast, and there were certain tracks that you'd like training on, but maybe weren't going to set a PR on. They were just a little bit slower based upon the surface. Does that exist in the world of speed skating?
Oh, absolutely. That's a great point. Salt Lake City is obviously at altitude, and so Salt Lake and Milwaukee are the only indoor ovals in the United States. And so Salt Lake being at altitude is always going to be quicker. I mean, that's just the reality of it, less drag and everything else. But we are one of the fastest sea level tracks in the world. And so while we won't match Salt Lake times, we will have times that are good for sea level. And given that the games are relatively at sea level over in Italy, it should provide a similar environment. And I think that's what U.S. Speed Skating, that's why they wanted it here in Milwaukee. Besides the great fan turnout, like that's a huge part of it too, knowing that the Milwaukee community really supports this event. It's trying to mimic the conditions the best you can. Now, the ice is going to be different, of course, but you still try and get the pressure and all that kind of stuff as similar as possible so they have those conditions so they know what to expect when they get over to Italy.
I know you said, Kevin, tickets are going fast, already some sold out. If there are some available, how do people go about maybe if they want to attend?
No, thanks for mentioning. Yeah, the pettit.com is the place to go, pettit.com, and there's right on the main page, talks about Olympic trials. Just click that, and it'll link you to the ticket buying site. Friday, as I said, there's about 200 left. Monday, there's a little bit more, but those are moving as well. All the start times are on there. In the case that you want to watch this weekend and you can't come out, it will be on, from my understanding, USA Network, I believe Friday and Monday, on NBC, actual NBC on Saturday and Sunday. So there'll be opportunities if people can't come out or it's sold out and you can't come, but you still want to watch it and cheer on your favorite Olympians or hopeful Olympians. You can watch it that way as well.
Awesome event. This is going to be a wonderful time. It begins Friday, January 2nd, runs through Monday, January 5th at the Pettit National Ice Center. TV broadcast details are on the website. Check your local listings, but also get out to the Pettit Center if you can and watch some of these, the best in the world, right here in Milwaukee before they fly off to Italy for the Olympic Games. Some hoping to qualify. Really, really good stuff here, Kevin. Congratulations on landing the event. Looking forward to watching it play out over the next few days.
Great. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, our pleasure here. Kevin Butler joining us, Director of Marketing for the Pettit National Ice Center. I've done a number of events with Bonnie Blair and Dan Jansen before. It's kind of like when you go to college and then after you leave, now you get the new football stadium, or now you get the new track or baseball field. And they always jokingly said, of course, we get done with speed skating, and they bring this beautiful Pettit National Ice Center in, but it's because of Dan Jansen and Bonnie Blair training, living together here in southeastern Wisconsin that really put this area on the map. And the Pettits, of course, were dedicated to anything on the ice, right? Hockey, in this case, of course, speed skating, but plenty of hockey being played at the Pettit as well. Marvelous event, wonderful facility. Hope you get your tickets, man. They're not an easy ticket to get right now.
Yeah, I mean, Olympic athletes, go watch them if you can.
Absolutely. Looking forward to the Olympic Games as well in February. It's 12:47 on WTMJ.
Healthy joints, healthy lifestyle. Vince Vitrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Arthritis, injuries, wear and tear, common joint issues that keep you from doing what you love. At OAW, a visit to the doctor doesn't always mean surgery. Everyone is different. Surgeons, nurses, physical therapists work together to come up with a plan for you. Maybe it's PT, medication, injection, and if you do need surgery like I did, you know you're in the best of hands. Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference. Book an appointment online at orthowisconsin.com.
The holiday season is here, and the countdown to 2026 has begun at Lake Lawn Resort. With all the holiday stress happening these days, imagine waking up next to a cozy fire in your own private suite along the shoreline of Delavan Lake. Enjoy much-deserved pampering at the award-winning Caladora Spa and special holiday dining options throughout the resort all month long, including at the signature 1878 on the lake. Book your holiday escape today, and don't forget to purchase those last-minute gift cards and receive free bonus money at Lake Lawn Resort, where the spirit of the season comes to life and everything is truly better at the lake.
It's here on consignment from over 10,000 nationwide partners. From very high-end, distinctive furniture, unique antiques and original art, to tasteful home decor that can fit almost any budget. Premium home decor priced right at 25 to 40% off retail prices. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Smart interior designers know that what they'll see here is going to be almost impossible to find anywhere else, especially at our consignment prices. Premium home decor that's gently loved and close to new. And what we carry can raise the wow factor of anyone's home decor. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange. CVS Health supports people in the moments that matter, from picking up a prescription to connecting care. With nearly 5 million daily interactions and serving 185 million consumers and 1.5 million healthcare professionals, CVS Health holds a trusted place in healthcare. By simplifying care and improving health, we're helping people get the care they need. Learn more at cvshealth.com/Investor Day.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
28 degrees your high today. Some flurries expected tonight and a low of 22. Clouds remain part of the forecast on Wednesday with a high of 27 degrees. Thursday, pretty chilly. Sunny, but a high of just 16 degrees. Back into the mid-20s as we round out the week. It's 17 degrees and mostly cloudy in Milwaukee at 12:50. So throughout the course of the week, we're dipping back into some of the stories that made note here this calendar year of 2025, including some local stories and features told by our collection of reporters and teammates here at WTMJ, including a story that I did on a family that I've been able to get to know over the last several years, and a tragic event that occurred nearly 5 years ago now for a Pewaukee family. Their lives changed forever. But today, the legacy of Marley Lehman lives on thanks to the overwhelming support of family and friends and those who subscribe to the mantra of no worries. On a snowy night in late January of 2021, Marley Lehman was driving home from Madison after a day of apartment shopping. She never made it home.
I got a call from my wife, and she's like, you got to come home. Marley's been in an accident.
Mike Lehman is Marley's father. Heading eastbound on I-94 near Oconomowoc, Marley was hit by a wrong-way driver who suffered from Alzheimer's. First responders worked on Marley at the scene.
They were working on her in the ambulance. All of a sudden we looked, and there was about 4 or 5 firefighters and the doctor walking at our car, and they said, you know, we did everything we could, but she didn't make it.
Marley Lehman was 20 years old.
It was like an out-of-body experience almost.
Marley's older sister, Maddie. 200 shirts were printed and distributed at Marley's funeral. On the front of those shirts, Marley's favorite saying and life mantra.
No worries, none. She lived in the day for the moment. She was the kindest, happiest kid I've ever known.
The shirts were gone in the blink of an eye.
People were reaching out to us saying, hey, can I get one of those t-shirts? And so that's what kind of sparked my interest in wanting to do something further. Like, people liked this.
Roughly 3 months later, with demand high, the No Worries None Instagram page launched and sales were brisk.
We didn't have a web page or anything like that. We just had an order form. My friends and family started reposting the link. Contacts at UW-Whitewater got the link, and they started promoting it. Most of it has truly been word of mouth.
Also born on that day in March, the Marley Lehman Scholarship Foundation, which helps fund the cost of higher education for in-need students wishing to attend a number of Wisconsin institutions.
The first being WCTC. We give scholarships to financially in-need students each year. We do 2, and those are $4,500 scholarships. And then we do 2 or 3 scholarships each year through Arrowhead for financially in-need students. Usually we focus on people with special needs. And then we do each year an All-in Milwaukee scholarship, where our scholarship will follow them through 4 years of an undergraduate degree and they receive $5,000 each year from our scholarship foundation. And if they go to UW-Milwaukee or UW-Madison or UW-Whitewater, the universities will match that. So they'll receive a total of $10,000 for each of the 4 years.
And after just over 3 years, the foundation is going strong thanks to the support of those who knew Marley or simply subscribe to her life mantra.
As a scholarship foundation, we have raised a total of over $500,000. Really an astronomical amount that I never thought that the scholarship would reach.
Marley Lehman had a unique power to connect. The way she lived her life, exemplary.
You know, when Marley was alive, she was like the glue between a lot of different friends. So she would bring a lot of different people together.
And 4 years after her passing, Marley Lehman is still connecting people around the country.
We'll see people, different countries with their no worries, none, airports, cities. It's pretty incredible how Marley is still bringing people together.
I really see what an impact that she had on my life and still continues to have on my life and on other people's lives.
We still are proud of everything that she was. Not a minute goes by without thinking of her. And we think about her every second of every day.
Everyone needs a plumber in their contacts list. And I've got yours, Vince Vetrano here. It's Horner Plumbing. We had a big job on the Vetrano home, needed to move the water hookups for the washer-dryer and refrigerator, and we turned to the trusted experts for more than 50 years in southeast Wisconsin, Horner Plumbing. CJ and Kaylee, they did a great job at the house. All the follow-up with Horner was amazing, great work, and outstanding customer service. Residential, commercial, and new construction, HornerPlumbing.com. Have it in your contact list because when it's a plumbing emergency, that is not the time you want to start your search. I've got your plumber. Full-service plumbing, water heater repairs and installs, drain cleaning, garbage disposals, bathroom and kitchen renovations. Full-service plumbing. Free quotes and upfront pricing means no surprises. You want a deal? Tell them Vinny sent you, and Horner Plumbing will knock $50 off that first service. Get started now at Horner Plumbing. That's HornerPlumbing.com.
At Capri Communities, they believe people of every age deserve to enjoy life.
I recently moved my dad into a Capri community. He has gained such new independence. His falls have decreased, he's eating healthy meals, and going on great new adventures. Knowing Dad is in a great place really gives me the peace of mind I needed. And now, we're both enjoying life again.
Give the care that has your parent enjoying life again at Capri Communities. Get started today at CapriCommunities.com.
The only place to get this.
Giannis takes off the other way, hammers it home, a little exclamation point.
With some of this.
With Giannis on the floor, Bucks offense has been number one in the NBA. With him off the floor, it's been really bad, to put it mildly. Like, they've played at a 58-win pace in those minutes that Giannis has been on the floor.
Get it all on Bucks Talk, your all-encompassing Milwaukee Bucks postgame show. Only heard here on the home of the Bucks, WTMJ. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a good karma brand station.
There's a lot of noise coming out of Washington these days, but one thing retirees in Wisconsin can't afford to ignore is the new Big Beautiful Bill. Sounds harmless, right? But here's the truth. The changes buried in this bill could have a serious impact on your retirement. At Drake & Associates, we've dug into the details, and we want to make sure you know what's really at stake. The Big Beautiful Bill includes sweeping updates to tax brackets, Social Security thresholds, Medicare premiums, and retirement account rules. And for many retirees, it could mean higher taxes on your savings, more limits on deductions, and unexpected changes to your income plan. Maybe you're already retired, or maybe you're just a few years away. Either way, what you don't know could cost you thousands. That's why we're offering Wisconsin residents a free educational guide to help you understand how the new bill may impact retirees and questions to discuss with your trusted financial advisor. Just text the word tax to 414-897-9522. That's tax, T-A-X, to 414-897-9522. You'll get immediate access to expert insights from the team at Drake & Associates, retirement planners who have been serving Wisconsin for over 20 years. We focus on tax-efficient retirement planning, helping you keep more of your money, avoiding surprises, and staying ahead of the curve no matter what Congress throws your way. So before the big beautiful bill takes a bite out of your hard-earned savings, let's make sure your plan is designed to help prepare for uncertainty. Text TAX to 414-897-9522. That's TAX to 414-897-9522. Drake & Associates, helping build retirement confidence right here in Wisconsin.
Drake & Associates LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates LLC does not provide legal or tax advice. Past performance is not indicative of future performance.
Wisconsin's Morning News is here for you every weekday morning starting at 6 a.m. Vince Petrano.
Trump administration planning to resume garnishing the wages of some student loan borrowers who are in default.
Eric Billstad.
A Milwaukee police officer taken to the hospital after getting bit by a police dog.
And traffic with Debbie Lozica.
A couple broken down vehicles out there. Actually, there's a crash also on the off-ramp to 70th Street.
The news you need to know. Wisconsin's Morning News on WTMJ.
Previously, it has been gently loved. But here, you'll only find very well-conditioned premium home decor items that you likely won't find elsewhere. Distinctive furniture, unique antiques, and original art, and other tasteful home decor at a value. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor on consignment at 25 to 40% off retail prices in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Breaking news as it happens. Stay up to date with your trusted and relevant source in news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 1 o'clock. I'm Greg Matzek. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. It's Tuesday, December 30th. Your top story, a young life lost on Milwaukee's northwest side.
I'm Neil Doyle in for Jessica Ty. A new year brings new rules for SNAP beneficiaries.
Cloudy, chance of evening snow, high of 28. Snow flurries expected tonight at a low of 22. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy with a high of 28 degrees. 17 degrees and cloudy in Milwaukee at 1 o'clock. From the WTMJ breaking newsroom, a 26-year-old is dead after a shooting on Milwaukee's northwest side. Milwaukee police say the suspect fired multiple shots into the victim's vehicle near 59th and Hadley around 2:30 Monday afternoon. No one has been arrested.
Parts of Wisconsin seeing an uptick in some severe flu cases. Recent data from the Department of Health Services showing very high activity for influenza in parts of the southeastern portion of the state. Milwaukee County Chief Health Policy Advisor Dr. Ben Weston telling WTMJ.
If you're having just mild symptoms, usually over-the-counter medications, ibuprofen, acetaminophen, or Tylenol can help reduce those fever and ease your symptoms. If you're getting more serious symptoms, and particularly if you're in a higher risk group and you get flu, there are prescription antivirals such as Tamiflu. And these can not just lessen symptoms and shorten the time you're sick, but most importantly, they can prevent that progression to severe disease that can affect certain people.
Health officials say the new influenza strain and holiday gatherings are contributing factors for the increase in cases.
Federal officials continue to investigate claims of federal funding fraud in Minnesota. A video posted on social media and amplified by the administration seems to have triggered the latest round of scrutiny. CBS News reporter Jonah Kaplan reports.
From Homeland Security Investigations. The Department of Homeland Security posted these videos of agents visiting more than 30 sites around the Twin Cities, peering to ask businesses about nearby child care or health care facilities, investigating what Secretary Kristi Noem called rampant fraud.
There are already 14 specific Medicaid-funded programs under review in Minnesota, with more than 90 people already facing various charges from those investigations.
Another state may also be dealing with a massive and widespread fraud case. Federal investigators say they're looking into reports of widespread Medicaid fraud in Maine. The news comes as authorities are expanding separate fraud investigations in that state, which they say could total more than $9 billion in lost funds.
The man on death row for the 2018 synagogue shooting in Pittsburgh sees a resentencing.
Robert Bowers killed 11 people at the Tree of Life Synagogue. In a 500-page appeal, his attorneys are asking for a new sentencing. They've brought up 16 issues, ranging from concerns about the jury selection to whether Bowers' legs were wrongly shackled during his trial. Bruce Ankoviak is a law professor at St. Vincent College.
There is no second chance to raise any of these issues. And so they're going to raise just about everything they can.
He says it will likely take years to work through all the appeals. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Beginning New Year's Day, 5 states will ban SNAP recipients from purchasing junk food with their benefits. The states set to impose those new restrictions include Iowa, Nebraska, Utah, West Virginia, and Indiana. SNAP recipients in those states will no longer be able to purchase items like soda, candy, and certain pre-prepared meals. Opponents of the food ban say it could lead to confusion and conflict at checkout counters.
Time for news about your money, the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. We've got a lot of red here, but kind of modest numbers. The Dow is off about 45 points at 48,416. NASDAQ down about 10 points at 23,464. And the S&P 500 down not even a point at 6905. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. It's financial planning at every level. For details, visit annexwealth.com.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 104.
When you give to St. Vincent de Paul Society of Milwaukee, you give hope to our neighbors in need. This Christmas season and throughout the year, we support anyone who needs a meal or help stocking their pantry. Your financial gift helps eliminate hunger and stop food insecurity. Please give much needed support to our Milwaukee neighbors. Learn more at svdpmilw.org.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
When you give to St. Vincent de Paul Society of Milwaukee, you give hope to our neighbors in need. This Christmas season and throughout the year, we support anyone who needs a meal or help stocking their pantry. Your financial gift helps eliminate hunger and stop food insecurity. Please give much needed support to our Milwaukee neighbors. Learn more at svdpmilw.org.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Planning for 2026 starts now. The best way to start is to reach out with your design ideas, and we'll work on putting together a winning game plan and design set for a 2026 install so you can enjoy hanging out next year on your beautiful new deck. And lock in on discounted pricing before the 2026 price increases. A great way to save money on your next project. Stop by our Outdoor Living Unlimited showroom at 665 Larry Court in Waukesha or visit OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
John Gillespie here. I spent a lot of cold mornings waiting for the big bite, and the right gear makes all the difference. That's why I head to Fleet Farm. Right now, you can get a Nordic Legend 2-person ice house for $109.99. Save $100 on a Vexilar FLX 18 Gens ice flasher and a Fravel Arctic Fire tip-up for just $19.99. Gear up this season with help from Fleet Farm, your ice fishing headquarters.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. The Packers will be road warriors in the postseason. They'll need to win 3 road games when the playoffs begin in order to reach the Super Bowl.
I think it's the mindset anytime, any place, anywhere. You just got to be ready to play ball. And can it be more challenging on the road? Absolutely. But I think that's where your preparation comes into play, making sure you're dialed in, focused. You know, the communication can be a little bit of a problem, especially in a playoff type atmosphere, but our guys have been through that, so it's not something that's overly concerning to me as long as we put in the work.
Packers wrap up the regular season against the Vikings on Sunday afternoon. The Bucs win back-to-back games to wrap up a 5-game road trip. The team back home on Wednesday night to face the Wizards. And college basketball tonight, Marquette on the home floor against Seton Hall for a 6 o'clock tip. Hear the game on 94.5 ESPN. Badgers take on UW Milwaukee this evening at the Kohl Center for a 6 o'clock tip. Badger Sports Updates are sponsored by Siding Unlimited, siding, and a whole lot more.
Taking a look at the roads, your WTMJ time saver traffic, not a whole lot to report, which is a good thing. There are 1 or 2 disabled vehicles kind of scattered about, but none of them causing any issues, not slowing down any traffic. We did have a little bit of a slowdown within the last half hour on our construction zone there on 94 near the stadium, but that has kind of cleared up, so everything moving along pretty nicely.
Primarily a cloudy day today with a chance of evening flurries, high of 28. Overnight low of 22 with flurries expected. We'll dial that in with Brian Nisnansky coming up at about 1:35. Mostly cloudy tonight and a low of 28. Thursday's high, 16 degrees under sunny skies. Friday looking like a sunny day with a high of 22. 17 and cloudy in Milwaukee at 108.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzek, and in for Jessica Ty, it's Neil Doyle.
I'm reading the forecast, and sometimes it says tomorrow, or so on and so forth. Well, I've not known what day it was or is for not a week and a half, it feels like. So I'm hesitant to even say tomorrow and replace it with a day, because I feel like I'll be one day off in what I say.
Well, tomorrow's Wednesday.
Okay, thank you. Again, I'm just a little bit unclear on that because it feels like you hit New Year's Eve and then New Year's Day. It feels like that should be it for the week, right? Well, no, you got to come back on Friday.
It gets a little funky.
It does a little bit. It's 1:09 here on WTMJ.
And now it's time for 3 Big Things on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Number one, federal officials continue to investigate claims of federal funding fraud in the state of Minnesota. CBS News reporter Jonah Kaplan.
The target seemed to come from video posted this weekend by YouTuber Nick Shirley, alleging 10 child care and more than 20 health centers in Minnesota are scam businesses fraudulently receiving millions in federal funds. On Monday, the state department that oversees child care centers said each facility shown had children at them during unannounced site visits in the past 6 months. CBS News also reviewed the daycares mentioned in the video. All but 2 have active licenses, and some were inspected as recently as 3 weeks ago.
So earlier this month, charges were filed against 2 men from Pennsylvania who are accused of traveling to Minnesota at the urging of a friend just to defraud federally funded programs designed to help people with disabilities or addiction. There are already 14 specific Medicaid-funded programs under review in the state, although none involve child care. More than 90 people are facing various charges from that investigation.
Number 2, heavy snow. Another round of impactful snow in parts of northern Wisconsin. Some areas seeing over a foot. That was Sunday night into Monday. And it's been a pretty stark change compared to previous winters. Some of the northern parts of Wisconsin the last couple of years didn't see very much snowfall at all, and that actually was a negative impact, but not the case this year. People up there, in particular, for people who want to go snowmobiling, skiing, things like that, which you do in the winter there in the northern part of the state, that has gotten off to a very strong start this winter season because of all of that snow. Ken Cusick is actually the president of the Frosty Snowmobile Club. That is near Eagle River.
Anywhere up in the Northwoods is a great time of year for snowmobiling and just, the Great White North. Being out here with all the people and being able to see everybody having fun is a great day.
So lots of these different clubs, again, with a smile on their face because they're happy to see the snow, and they've gotten a lot of it. Lots of other, Wisconsinites, even some from bordering states, really taking advantage of the opportunity to get out and do some early snowmobiling.
They groom them. They do a very good job up here, and it's just everybody's polite. They mind the trails. They don't get in your way and stuff like that. We have a big group of people here today, and we're having a great time.
And they've actually been able to open up a lot of these snowmobile trails a little bit earlier in the season, just again with the amount of snow that some of those northern portions have seen. It's tending for hopefully a good season. Again, the last couple of years, it's been down a little bit.
Yeah, I can understand the urgency to try and get things open after the last couple of years where it's been a challenge to stay open. So, yes, trying to recoup every bit of what was lost from a year ago. You get the feeling it's going to be cyclical. You'll never really know year to year going in how to properly plan, how to properly budget. You got to prepare for everybody coming up, right? Because that's the area people want to go when it comes to snowmobiling. And then you have one of those down years when it comes to the weather, and it is so hard to recover from it. Hopefully those businesses are getting back on their feet. I know we spoke to a number of businesses last year who just said they're able to stay open, but boy, it was a tough situation to try and deal with.
Well, and hopefully, like we said, not the case this year. Let's hope for good things.
Number 3, a new definition of obesity could nearly double the number of U.S. adults who will now be considered obese. CBS's Linda Kenyon explains.
Researchers say a new tool, which includes waist-based measurements, finds more than 75% of adults may be obese. when compared to 40% using the body mass index or the BMI alone. The BMI uses height and weight to estimate body fat. It's been used for decades to determine obesity. Nearly 4 in 10 adults with a normal BMI were found to have excess body fat when waist-based measures were also applied. The study is published in the latest edition of the Journal of the American Medical Association. Linda Kenyon, CBS News.
I am shocked that it's 2025, almost 2026, and we are still using the BMI as any form of metric to determine obesity. It is one of the most flawed metrics to determine obesity that the world has ever seen because it's a simple height to weight calculation. It does not distinguish between fat and muscle. It is completely absurd. So anything to get rid of this and punt it to the backyard, I am all for. I don't know if waist size circumference is a true indication, but anything to eliminate BMI, those letters, the acronym, everything it stands for, I am 100% for. It's a ridiculous metric.
I like it on your soapbox.
It's
Get
awful.
rid of it.
Because you put in the metrics and I'm obese
Yeah.
or borderline obese. It doesn't make any sense. It has nothing to do with muscle tone or fitness level.
And it's been around a long time.
It has been. It's stupid. Every NFL running back is obese, according to BMI. Any NFL linebacker is obese, according to BMI. I was borderline when I was at 200 pounds at 6 feet 3 inches tall. It just doesn't make any sense to me. It's never made any sense to me.
Doesn't sound right.
Okay, well, I think I'm done now. You get where I stand on the BMI.
I think you just got rid of it right there.
We'll talk to Dr. Weston about just totally officially getting rid of this for life, ever, on tomorrow's program. 1:14 on WTMJ. Hang with us.
Without an Advent clinic nearby, people suffering needlessly from chronic nasal congestion and sinus infections would be stuck with either Band-Aid or sledgehammer solutions. Band-Aids are pills or nasal sprays, and they're not true solutions. Surgery is a sledgehammer, and that's what we're trying to avoid. Because most people don't need surgery for nose and sinus issues, nor do they want a 14-day recovery. Our unique Advent approach can, in 20 minutes in our office, open your blocked nose for good, with only 1-day recovery. I'm Advent founder Dr. Kandula. Outside of Advent's 4 walls, invasive surgery is what they'll recommend. But here, you will find effective and convenient in-office solutions to help you stop the need for Band-Aids and avoid the sledgehammer.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Most insurance accepted.
If you're looking to plan your next global experience, let Fox World Travel's vacation experts handcraft your next journey to Europe. In partnership with Globus, Insight Vacations, and Avalon Waterways, we've created outstanding itineraries with exclusive experiences to Iceland, Croatia, Spain, Portugal, and more. Or we can fully customize a journey based on your interests. Visit foxworldtravel.com or call 866-GO-FOX-GO. Join us and make memories to last a lifetime.
With the understanding that today is Tuesday, I will tell you that it's supposed to be 28. There's your high. Overnight low 22. Snow expected. We'll talk to Niz about that coming up in 20 minutes. Neil tells me tomorrow is Wednesday. And we've got a high of 28 degrees under cloudy skies. Gina tells me that the following day is Thursday. We expect to see sun and a high of 17 degrees, back into the mid-20s with some sun expected on Friday. I guess that closes out the week then, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
I'll be better by the time Monday rolls around next week. It is 17 degrees and cloudy in Milwaukee at 116. So I had a terrible flashback in my mind a couple of weeks ago watching the Packers play the Bears. Right, it was everything disintegrated for the Bears, or excuse me, the Packers in the final minutes of that game, right, and into overtime. And one of the more critical plays in that game, and it always stands out, was the botched onside kick. Boy, every time that happens in a game, it's almost disproportionately viewed as the thing that caused Team X to lose to Team Y. It gets blown out of proportion because it's a play of desperation for the team that's doing the kicking, right?
It stands out, yeah.
Well, there's a number of things that went wrong for the Packers in that game against the Chicago Bears that resulted in a loss. And the onside kick being botched was certainly one of them. But it made me think back to the 2014 NFC Championship game in which Brandon Bostic found himself in a similar position to Romeo Doubs, only this was to go to the Super Bowl and not win a conference and division game against your division rival. The stakes were very much high for the Packers in that 2014 NFC Championship game. But again, if you remember, It was a collection of mistakes the Packers made in that game, really starting in the second quarter, that resulted in the loss. I caught up with Brandon Bostic earlier this year. Death threats, therapy, feeling like a failure, how he rediscovered a love for football 10 years after a haunting mistake.
Good kick up into the air, and it is loose and recovered by Seattle.
It was just a hopeless moment. Felt really bad for myself, and I felt like I had let my team down. Felt like I was a failure as a player, so it was just tough to get through that.
Brandon Bostic had a chance at it.
Everyone didn't know who I was from that place, so it kind of made me look at myself differently, and also I just felt bad.
It's a nice bounce. He tries to get it at its high point, just unable to make the play as a tight end.
With 2 minutes, 9 seconds left in the 2014 NFC Championship game in Seattle, the Packers held a 19-14 lead and appeared destined for a berth in Super Bowl 49 against the Patriots. The Seahawks lined up for an onside kick that was mishandled by Brandon Bostic, a backup tight end who was placed on the hands team only after Ryan Taylor was released in October. In an avalanche of miscues that led to the Packers' 28-22 overtime loss, Bostic's stood out because of an admitted botched assignment.
My assignment was supposed to block, and Jordy would have caught the ball, and the game would have been over.
The Packers' season ended that day, but life for Brandon Bostic took a sharp turn. He was released by the Packers as social media took aim with death threats and a host of disparaging remarks.
Just racist stuff and just things that, all the negative things you would say about a person that you thought they deserve. So they're just saying a lot of things to make me feel bad because I've made big mistakes.
In the days following the game and years after, Bostic struggled to process what happened and why he became the scapegoat for a game full of miscues.
Like I didn't have any hope in my future. Like I didn't know what was next for me. I guess it just feeling like a dark cloud was over my life at the time, so I didn't want to live like that. I didn't like that feeling.
5 years after his playing career ended, and during the height of the pandemic, Bostic sought professional help.
I started working with a therapist and started learning who I was as a person outside of football. So I did a lot of work for myself internally to figure out how to get past that moment.
Depressed and unsure of himself and his future, Bostic also fell out of love with the game of football.
All the things that were said and all the stuff from social media and how I felt after that play. So it kind of took me a while to love football again. It took me a while to watch football again or even want to be around the game again.
10 years removed from the most painful of losses in Seattle and 5 years into therapy sessions, the feeling of self-worth and passion for the game is coming back for Bostic, who's parlayed those feelings into a college coaching gig.
I saw one of my friends was coaching, and he's the offensive coordinator at North Dakota. So he's been trying to get me to get back into coaching and help. This year, I just decided, I want to get back in the game. So I reached out to him. He gave me the opportunity to coach at North Dakota. So just excited to be on the team again, excited to be around the guys.
He's also working to help others struggling on a daily basis.
I enjoy helping people, and I saw passion in that, and I saw how impactful my story was. So I started to speak up about it and just help people.
Google Brandon Bostic's name and you'll no doubt see plenty of references to the 2014 NFC Championship game. But Bostic would prefer to be remembered a different way.
No, I wasn't drafted. I wasn't a guy that was highly recruited. I was just a hardworking guy that came from country South Carolina and made it to a place in Green Bay. So I just wanted to be known as a guy that overcame adversity and a guy that was known for his work on and off the field.
Other ways to remember Brandon Bostic? Entrepreneur, mental health advocate, motivational speaker, and now coach.
I am happy. I moved on from that point. It still affects me, but I think I found my purpose again. I found that mistakes don't define you, and we all face challenges. So I think I'm happy that I know that football was just something I did. It's not who I am as a person.
I was thankful to catch up with Brandon Bostic. He was a guy that I covered when I was in the locker room on a weekly basis covering the Green Bay Packers. I got to know him just a little bit, quiet, understated, hard worker. I loved his story of being undrafted and making his way to an NFL roster. Those are part of the stories during training camp that you really glom onto, Neil. And I just found him to be a very kind man, kind, hardworking, humble. And unfortunately, this haunts him. And people let him hear about it because of the stakes of that game. It wasn't a regular season game. It was to go to the Super Bowl, a place the Packers hadn't been in a few years. And that window with Aaron Rodgers, you felt like maybe it was closing at that time. But he took an unfair amount of criticism for that mistake. He owned up to it. He never hid behind it. But fans around the country let him hear it in the most unfair of ways. So I'm glad he's back on his feet, coaching, rediscovering a love for football.
Yeah, just to kind of hear the comeback there, and to be able to hear you get to catch up with him and just kind of hear how the journey's gone from him. It sounded like it was very rough at times, but kind of on the bounce back.
You bet. 123 on WTMJ.
Put a little wow in your winter at the 31st Annual Lake Geneva Winterfest and America's Snow Sculpting Invitational, January 28th through February 1st. Watch 15 top teams create breathtaking masterpieces in snow right before your very eyes. Enjoy bonfires on the beach, a kids' play area, live entertainment, and a sparkling downtown ice sculpture walk. Plan your Winterfest getaway at visitlakgeneva.com. Lake Geneva, where it's always been the place for winter magic.
Siding Unlimited is truly siding and a whole lot more. You've heard me talk about them for over a decade now, and that's because Siding Unlimited has done incredible work at our homes over the years. We are prepared. We are set to go for whatever winter brings us. We've got quality roof shingles. We've got incredible siding, thanks to Siding Unlimited. Windows performing very well as well. If you got any issues and you're starting to maybe feel that cold draft coming inside the house, that's a problem. Siding Unlimited can solve it for you. The best installers of high-quality products that'll beautify and protect your home's exterior. It's Siding Unlimited. Find them online at sidingunlimited.com. Maybe take some photos and bring some thoughts and ideas out to them. Connect with Siding Unlimited, this family-run business with all sorts of awards to prove what I've been explaining to you for years. They're the best installation teams you will find, period. It's Siding Unlimited, truly siding and a whole lot more. Visit sidingunlimited.com.
Hey everybody, it's WTMJ's Debbie Loziga for Access Legal. I see firsthand how hard Wisconsin workers push themselves. From the construction crews on the roads I monitor every day to the countless jobs that strain the body over time. For many, that wear and tear turns into real pain. My friends at Access Legal understand what you're going through and they want to help. Their team has recovered more than $35 million for Wisconsin workers and will fight for the benefits you're entitled to as well. Worn down by work? Contact Access Legal for a risk-free consultation. That's AXIS Legal.
Greg and Neil with you. It's Wisconsin's Midday News. Got you till 3 o'clock. So how will you be bringing in the new year? Anything special planned?
I know there's one of the college football playoff games, New Year's Eve, so I will probably watch that and then go to bed.
Okay, fair enough. I got some friends coming over for a little get-together at our house, but nothing really says bring on 2026 like illegal fireworks. Well, if you're going to go down this route, you might want to be cautious here. According to the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission, nearly 15,000 people were treated in the ER for fireworks-related injuries in 2024. That's a 52% increase from 2023. Some of the major issues here, well, not surprising, burns. Yeah, that's a big deal. Adults ages 25 to 54 accounted for the largest share of reported injuries, followed by people ages 15 to 24. Hands, fingers among the body parts most injured. Head, face, ears also affected. Just stick with sparklers, right, Neil? You'll be fine. No, not exactly. Those suckers burn at 2,000 degrees. Oof. You don't want to mess. Some helpful tips. Make sure fireworks are legal in your area before setting off. That's a good place to start. Also, if you're going to throw some unused fireworks away, best to soak it in water before you just toss it in the garbage can. And maybe avoid fireworks altogether if you've been drinking.
Yeah, that would probably be a wise choice. For me, I feel like I get the fireworks to bring in the new year. It's a big celebration. We're going into, we're wrapping up one year, going into another. For us, though, in the Midwest, like who's going out in these winter frigid temperatures to shoot the fireworks off?
Well, those who really want to.
I guess.
So therein lies part of the issue. You talk about some of the injuries that people sustain. It's your point. Cold weather, you got to be bundled up. Well, yeah, but then you get a spark off the sparkler or something happens and all of a sudden your sleeve is on fire and you got yourself an issue. So that happens and with a bit of regularity. But what I found most staggering is that ER-related issues regarding fireworks were up 52% in 2024. That's crazy.
That's a lot.
Crazy.
And I feel like, obviously fireworks more around the 4th of July and, something we always hear from the safety experts, just leave it to the professionals.
Yes. Yeah. Very good point.
Just stay away from it.
Very good point. 127, Wisconsin's Midday News podcast built by Siding Unlimited. Truly siding and a whole lot more. We've got news coming up in just a few.
Everyone needs a plumber in their contacts list. And I've got yours, Vince Vetrano here. It's Horner Plumbing. We had a big job on the Vetrano home, needed to move the water hookups for the washer dryer and refrigerator, and we turned to the trusted experts for more than 50 years in Southeast Wisconsin, Horner Plumbing. CJ and Kaylee, they did a great job at the house. All the follow-up with Horner was amazing, great work, and outstanding customer service. Residential, commercial, and new construction, HornerPlumbing.com. Have it in your contact list because when it's a plumbing emergency, that is not the time you want to start your search. I've got your plumber. Full-service plumbing, water heater repairs and installs, drain cleaning, garbage disposals, bathroom and kitchen renovations. Full-service plumbing. Free quotes and upfront pricing means no surprises. You want a deal? Tell them Vinny sent you, and Horner Plumbing will knock $50 off that first service. Get started now at Horner Plumbing. That's HornerPlumbing.com.
Well, look at you.
You look handsome in that suit.
Sorry, no time for pleasantries. I have a very important meeting. What's with all the forms and charts? I'm meeting with the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission?
Why?
To register Penny Mustard's Spencer bedroom as a security.
I'm sorry, what?
Think about it. How do we build the Spencer bedroom? With solid wood construction.
Forever type bed brackets.
And drawer bottoms strong enough to stand on. And how long will it last?
For generations.
And furniture that lasts for generations is worth
more money in the future.
So you're saying the Spencer bedroom is a hedge against inflation?
I gotta say, you've had a lot of weird ideas.
Yeah?
But this one might just work.
The Spencer bedroom, starting at just $173 a month with no interest till December 2028 through January 4th at Penny Mustard.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com. Better versions of what people want.
Penny Mustard Furnishing.
If you're looking to plan your next global experience, let Fox World Travel's vacation experts handcraft your next journey to Europe. In partnership with Globus, Insight Vacations, and Avalon Waterways, we've created outstanding itineraries with exclusive experiences to Iceland, Croatia, Spain, Portugal, and more. Or we can fully customize a journey based on your interests. Visit foxworldtravel.com or call 866-GO-FOX-GO. Join us and make memories to last a lifetime.
It's 1:30. I'm Greg Matzek. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. It's Tuesday, December 30th. Your top story, ramping up the search for a missing man from Waukesha County.
I'm Neil Doyle, in for Jessica Ty, holding on to hope in south central Texas.
Cloudy with a chance of evening snow, high of 28 degrees, low of 22. Snow flurries expected tonight. New Year's Eve, mostly cloudy with a high of 28. It's currently 17 and cloudy in Milwaukee.
ABC News, I'm Mike Dubusky. There remain some crucial details we still don't know about the recent U.S. strikes on Venezuelan soil. The White House still hasn't confirmed whether that strike came from the CIA or the U.S. military. More from ABC News senior White House correspondent Selena Wang.
For weeks, the president has been threatening these land strikes in Venezuela against drug traffickers. Earlier this month, the president told me that they were coming soon, saying they know every route, every house, and where these drugs are manufactured. But so far, Trump's pressure campaign on Venezuela has mostly been at sea. The U.S. has hit dozens of alleged drug boats in the Eastern Pacific and the Caribbean, including one just yesterday that killed 2, bringing the death toll to 107 people.
And Tatiana Schlossberg, granddaughter of President John F. Kennedy, has died. A statement from the JFK Library Foundation says in part, she will always be in our hearts. Schlossberg revealed her leukemia diagnosis in The New Yorker last month. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 1:31. The search continues for a missing 28-year-old man from Waukesha. Police say Alan Roller was reported missing by his family after his vehicle was discovered at Neshota County Park on Monday. Roller is described as 6 feet tall with blue eyes and mid-length curly brown hair, weighing about 185 pounds. It's unclear what clothing he was wearing.
A 39-year-old man from Waukesha now facing his 5th criminal charge for operating while intoxicated. The man was arrested after crashing his vehicle in Milwaukee's Veterans Park Monday evening. Police say the vehicle left Lincoln Memorial Drive and then entered the park, but was spared from going into the water after getting stopped by the retaining wall. The driver did not suffer any injuries, but again was cited for OWI.
Leaders from Europe and Canada holding discussions today about the conflict between Russia and the Ukraine. This comes after President Trump's hosting of Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky at Mar-a-Lago. CBS News digital reporter Aaron Navarro says the president is expecting another high-profile meeting in the near future.
With further negotiations. A meeting with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and European leaders is possible next month in Washington.
Representatives from the Coalition of the Willing are already scheduled to meet in Ukraine and France in early January.
Some new details emerging in the search for a teenager from San Antonio. Officials have released dash cam video that shows someone resembling the girl walking on a sidewalk near her home on Christmas Day. News Nation's Mill Hayes has more.
Law enforcement is ramping up their search to find San Antonio teen Camila Mendoza Olmos using drones, canines, mounted patrol. Camila's family says that she normally takes morning walks, but this time she didn't come home or take her phone. Sheriff Javier Salazar says that they have been able to go through digital evidence, including an iPad that she left behind as well, with the help of the FBI. And investigators say that they are looking at all possibilities.
Authorities say the girl recently broke up with her boyfriend. She may have been depressed and decided to leave home.
A unique way to spend New Year's Eve here in southeastern Wisconsin.
I just want to see our community coming back together.
Milwaukee Intertribal Circle is hosting a sobriety powwow, an open to the community event to ring in the new year and celebrate Native American culture sober. President of MIC, Deanna Porter, tells WTMJ more.
A sober event centered around Native American culture. The Native American community, as well as any of our friends and family who want to join us, we have a place to be in sobriety to celebrate our culture and to bring in the calendar new year.
The event is from 4 p.m. to 1 a.m. on New Year's Eve at the Jigwa Gymnasium downtown. Elizabeth Linton in WTMJ News.
And speaking of New Year's Eve celebrations, officials in New York City gearing up to welcome thousands of people to Times Square to watch the ball drop. New York City Mayor Eric Adams says there are no credible threats to the city. He also warns against agitators who may try to disrupt celebrations on behalf of a cause.
We acknowledge that the city will respect and protect people's right to protest. We will have a zero tolerance for interfering with the celebration tomorrow in Times Square or other disorderly behavior across the city.
Spectators will be able to get into Times Square tomorrow afternoon. Temperatures for the big ball drop expected to be chilly in the low 30s.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 1:35.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
There are some things in this world that are both free and priceless at the same time, like your grandma's Christmas cookies or a spectacular sunset. When it comes to home buying, AccuNet's rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval is both free, even though it's more work on our part than a slapdash bank pre-approval. And when it comes to making sure your home buying journey doesn't include any chest-clutching surprises and avoidable mistakes, it's also priceless. Sellers and listing agents recognize AccuNet's rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval as the gold standard of our industry, not just because of our $2,000 guarantee, but because they know we've done our homework and that you're the real deal, especially if you need a bridge loan to buy that next home. You'll also like that our closing costs are typically $1,000 to $3,000 lower than banks and the mortgage folks with the Rocket for exactly the same rate. Get started with your free, yet priceless, rock-solid, guaranteed pre-approval today by clicking on the blue button at accunet.com.
When you give to St. Vincent de Paul Society of Milwaukee, you give hope to our neighbors in need. This Christmas season and throughout the year, we support anyone who needs a meal or help stocking their pantry. Your financial gift helps eliminate hunger and stop food insecurity. Please give much needed support to our Milwaukee neighbors. Learn more at svdpmilw.org.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
When you give to St. Vincent de Paul Society of Milwaukee, you give hope to our neighbors in need. This Christmas season and throughout the year, we support anyone who needs a meal or help stocking their pantry. Your financial gift helps eliminate hunger and stop food insecurity. Please give much needed support to our Milwaukee neighbors. Learn more at svdpmilw.org.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
For WTMJ contest rules, visit WTMJ.com/contests.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Bucks return home after a 5-game road trip, winning back-to-back games. Not surprising, having Giannis back on the floor, yeah, that seems to help, according to Miles Turner.
You got to have guys that are willing to sacrifice, guys that are willing to go up there and step up, next man up mentality at all times. So I think we're building towards something special, but again, it's not going to be made in a day. We've got to continue to keep working.
Bucks center Miles Turner. Milwaukee takes on the Wizards Wednesday night at Fiserv Forum. Marquette on the home floor tonight against Seton Hall. Hear the game on 94.5 ESPN at 6 o'clock. Badgers men's basketball team plays host to UW Milwaukee tonight for a 6 o'clock tip from the Kohl Center. You can hear that game, not online here at WTMJ.com. You'll have to go to the Kohl Center if you want to check that game out. Badger Sports Updates are presented by Siding Unlimited. There was a time where we carried Badger games, believe it or not, Neil. Back in the day.
Back in the day,
Badger football, Badger basketball. Now we have volleyball, which is fantastic.
But you can go to the game tonight. Should be a good one between the Panthers and Badgers.
Absolutely. Entertaining.
All right, let's take a look at the roads, your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. A couple of different things popping up here. We've got an issue 41 southbound right at Blue Mound Road. As you kind of approach the Zoo interchange there, part of the right lane is blocked due to a crash. Looks like emergency crews are on the scene there. So again, that's 41 southbound right at Blue Mound Road. Bit of a slowdown because of a crash there. Another issue on 41 as well. This is 41 northbound. Right at the ramp from Highway 60. Part of the right shoulder is blocked there due to a crash. Also a disabled vehicle kind of in that area, so a bit of a slowdown there on 41. Otherwise, again, rest of the system moving along pretty good.
It kind of feels like a sincere winter day. Temperatures hovering around 20 degrees, little pops of sun, more clouds than sun, and a little snow flurry action that could potentially pick up a little bit later on tonight. DMJ4 Chief Meteorologist Brian Nisnansky joining us. Hey, Niz.
Yo, what's up, guys? Yeah, very, very light snow if you want to even classify it. Just a dusting in some parts of the area. Maybe, as you just mentioned, by late afternoon, early evening, it picks up again a little bit, but again, shouldn't be an issue. But with it being cold and the ground is cold, yes, even the side roads that are untreated could get a little slippery.
I tell you what, my dog's not enjoying being outside because the wind has been ripping around our house a little bit. He kind of goes out, got a sweater on and trying to keep him warm, and he's like, wait a minute now, what happened here? The wind really adds an element, though. It felt raw this morning, felt bitter last night.
Yeah, it does. I mean, there's a huge difference this time of year when it's 20 and sunny out and calm winds versus, raw snow flurries, winds gusting up to 40 miles per hour. That makes a really big difference. And thankfully, it's not as windy as yesterday, but still quite breezy out there and still making an impact. I don't know, is it me or when this time of year, when you get winds that strong, your house tends to make different noises, different creaks, different, vibrations.
I thought it was me, but yeah, I guess it could be the house.
I had some going last night where it's like, okay, that doesn't sound too good, but then yeah, it's definitely weather. That's indoor weather, and that's going to be the case here heading into the New Year's holiday.
And as we kind of head into the new year, looking like it's going to be a little chilly. So I guess if people have plans for New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, you're going to want to bundle up. But then even more so, kind of around then, and as we look kind of maybe even further in the week, you have some people that might still be out of town and then are going to be traveling back. Any issues as we kind of look further in the week as people might be traveling back from their holiday travels?
I think for large-scale systems, I think we're looking pretty good. Yeah, there's going to be the cold air and breezy conditions across the Great Lakes, and eventually that heads over towards New England, where they've been quite cold as well. But I'm not seeing really much. A ridge of high pressure builds across the plains. In fact, it's already building across the plains. So while we're chilly, there are places like Des Moines, Iowa, Nebraska, Lincoln, Nebraska, that will be pushing the 50s here over the next few days with sunshine and high pressure. And that high pressure actually blocks any bigger storm systems from slamming into the West Coast and eventually working their way across the country. So our weather pattern looks pretty quiet. There might be a couple little sneaker systems, little things, not only here across the Midwest, but across the country. But I'm not seeing anything very large scale that could snarl up traffic weather-wise leading through the rest of winter break.
Yeah, good news on that front. I'm still hoping that we might crack a 40 again before we get out of get toward March. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. Yeah, I mean, of course. Like this time of year, I mean, we have more cold stretches than not, but yeah, certainly. I don't quite see 40 on the 7-day, but certainly some 30s maybe even by the end of the weekend. So I mean, that's for this time of year, we're starting to get our average highs more like around 30 or upper 20s, depending on where you are. So get through a couple colder days today, and things will even out by this weekend.
And I know we got a little bit of snow early in the week, but man, oh man, up north they got hit pretty hard again.
They did, and it's great news for them. They've had some terrible winters for what they need and they like and their economy up there. You know, there's a lot of people who live down here, or even our lovely friends south of the state line, who like to go up north and fuel that economy, you know, and this time of year without, you know, big hunting and, you know, people enjoying the, you know, the boating season and stuff, like they really depend on snow sports and cold temperatures. So they're finally getting it. And it's been a couple years. Last year, I think they were open with snowmobile trails for, I don't know, maybe a couple weeks tops. And then the year before that, I don't think many locations even opened. So it's nice to get them off to a good start and keep it rolling.
Yeah, no, that's been so important. I was even in central Wisconsin over Christmas, and they had quite a bit more snow than we had. And that's, you know, central Wisconsin, little south of Stevens Point area. So I know areas further to the north had quite a bit more snow. And that's such big-time industry. And the water was frozen enough where people that I was talking to felt comfortable ice fishing. I'm always a little leery on that. I'd certainly err on the side of caution, but people were out doing it. That's another part of the Wisconsin winter that was a little compromised the last couple of years.
Yeah, and I think the DNR says it best. Like, no matter the conditions, no ice is going to be like 100% safe ice. Now, obviously, certain conditions will lead to much safer conditions. I think we're getting pretty close that most inland waters, if you know what you're doing, if you are properly prepared for in the event someone goes through. Again, there are precautions you should be taking any time of year. I know I act differently, and I am more on a different awareness if I'm going out, you know, with my friends, you know, capable adults versus taking my little kids out on the lake, you know, things of that nature. So always keep that stuff in mind. I'm never saying don't go out on the lakes, but at the very least, you should be knowing that ice thickness from asking around or measuring that ice thickness before you're even thinking of going out there. And, you know, some people, of course, putting their shanties or snowmobiles or even cars out on the ice.
You know, I know we'll see how things go as we get into 2026 and winter kind of progresses here. But, I mean, with the amount of snow we've already seen, is this shaping up to kind of be maybe one of our heavier snowfall winters in a while?
Yeah, well, we got off to a blistering start. You know, the first half of December and even the end of November, we had a significant amount of snowfall. Things have kind of backed off now, so we'll see. We're still ahead of pace, which you know is ahead of the majority of the last winters, in the past decade. So we're off to a good start here. But again, as we kind of slip into the pattern that we kind of let off today with that high pressure to the west, I'm not seeing anything that's going to substantially uptick our snow amounts here in southern Wisconsin. Northern Wisconsin might end up having some lake snow events off of Lake Superior. We're talking far northern Wisconsin, but kind of a lull here with big time accumulating snow. So we'll see how it all plays out.
All right, good stuff, Niz. We'll check it again soon. If we don't talk to you tomorrow, have a great New Year's Eve, and we'll do it again soon.
Yeah, right on, guys. Happy New Year. Later.
You too. 146 on WTMJ.
You've spent a lifetime taking care of others. Now it's your turn to enjoy life your way. At Capri Communities, they offer vibrant senior living where neighbors become friends, and each day brings something to smile about.
Well, it's breakfast with the boys, and then bingo is at 3 in the afternoon. I lost that super lady I lived with for 60 years, but have found a home and doing well. The accommodations, the facilities, it's been a pleasure.
Find your perfect new home at CapriCommunities.com.
Hey, fellas, are you feeling off of your game? If you feel like something is holding you back, connect with the medical professionals at Game Day Men's Health. WTMJ's Greg Matzek here. Game Day Men's Health helps guys regain their youthful edge with hormone replacement, vitamin therapy, personalized weight loss plans, plus EPAT therapy, which I've used for injuries such as plantar fasciitis or tennis elbow. And it's all under the care of experienced medical professionals. A free consultation at their clinic in Brookfield, Shorewood, Germantown, or Delafield. Game Day Men's Health. Get back in the game.
FIFA World Cup 2026 is coming soon, but your opportunity to be there starts now through an exclusive offer with an eligible Bank of America Visa credit card. For a limited time, become a new customized cash rewards or unlimited cash rewards Visa credit card holder, and you will be eligible for a chance to purchase FIFA World Cup 2026 tickets. Learn more at BofA.com/cardFWC26. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be the official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America N.A. in partnership with Visa. Terms apply. Awards reserved.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
All right, well, if you noticed our producer, Gina, with a bit of a smile today, walking around, she's always very smiley, very happy person. It's always great to be around Gina, but there's always something a little bit extra when it comes to coffee and Gina. And those who listen to this program know that Gina drinks coffee aggressively. And she's always on top of new menu, things happening at the different coffee shops around the city, big or small, right? And she was very excited today. And in fact, before she even said hello to me this morning, she said, "Did you see Starbucks is out with their winter menu?"
Oh, here we go.
I thought, well, wait, didn't they already do this? And no, Gina corrected me. This is not the Christmas menu, Gina, which has been out for some time. It's a winter menu, so we're done with Christmas. Is that what I'm to understand?
January 6th, we will officially be done with the holidays, and then it's just winter.
Okay, so what's the difference then? What happens?
Less festive drinks, I guess. But good news for you, though, because your favorite drink returns.
I don't even know what that is. What is my favorite drink? What's returning?
The pistachio cream cold brew.
Oh, I do like that. Yeah, pistachio is a hot nut, man. That thing is bound for stardom here in 2026. I'm not a big fan of the peppermint mocha and stuff like that. I just don't like pepperminty kind of stuff, unless it's after dinner and they got the little dish at the restaurant. I like to grab a mint out of that. Iced sugar cookie almond milk latte, like it's just too much for me. The Christmas menu is just, it's way too sweet. I can't do it with regularity.
Now, with, I guess, the Christmas menu going away, like, does that mean, like, the holiday-themed cups kind of go away? Or do those stay? I don't know how that works.
Gina, what do we know?
We don't. So we're going to have to find that out on January 6th, Neil. We're going to have to take a trip.
All right.
I would have to imagine they got a whole change of, the boards and how everything looks. Because right now, we were down there today. Gina was thirsty, and I decided to go for a walk with her. I got some banana bread, which is delicious. And it was still very Christmassy, right? There was still the Christmas menu. You still had the Christmas cup. It was still very red and green at the Starbucks that we went to.
But did you notice on the eggnog they had out of season sticker on it? That's gone.
Oh, I thought it was just out of stock. Like we're not getting any more.
Out of season. They're done.
Out of season?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's very interesting. We've not hit January yet, but apparently eggnog is not a post-Christmas thing, unless it's just sort of left over after your holiday celebration.
Eggnog didn't need to be around that long.
So no eggnog on New Year's then?
No. But then you get Ice Dubai chocolate coming after that.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
Very excited about that one.
Now, on this winter menu that's coming, didn't we say is there like a new egg bite they're dropping, like a truffle egg bite or something along that line?
Yes, the truffle and brie egg bite.
Those kind of sound enticing to me.
I'm not a big brie fan. It's not my favorite soft cheese.
And you don't like truffles either.
I like the idea of truffles, and like truffle hunting is like a big thing in Italy, and they're hard to find and very expensive. I just don't find them to have a ton of flavor.
And truffle at a Starbucks? I don't know about
that. That's also a very good point.
Turkey bacon. They have a turkey bacon sandwich. That's new.
Well, I've actually had that, and it's not that great, but it's, I guess, a healthier option. They got the cinnamon pull-apart bread, the snowman cookie, cranberry bliss bar. They did have this on the menu, the sugar plum cheese Danish, if you like to go that route. It's like a cheese Danish with a little, I don't know, plum jelly in it. But there you go. The holiday menu is out. The winter menu is coming. Gina is excited, and there will be many more trips to Starbucks in our future. It is 1:52 on WTMJ.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. You ever wonder how your house would look if it were a different color, or had a new roof, or maybe a splashy front door? Well, you can see for yourself just by going to TriCountyContractingWI.com. Add a photo of your house and design a new look. Then call them when you're ready. TriCountyContractingWI.com. It's worry-free roofing, siding, and windows. TriCountyContractingWI.com.
Vince Vitrano here. Don't let your hard-earned vision benefits go to waste. Get new eyewear at Shopco Optical. Now is the time to use up your FSA funds and insurance dollars before they expire December 31st. Whether you need new glasses, contacts, prescription sunglasses, or an eye exam, now is the time to visit Shopco Optical. Shopco's knowledgeable team will guide you through every step, making sure you get the most from your pre-tax dollars. Don't wait. Call or visit shopco.com to schedule today.
Hey, this is WTMJ's Steve Scavini here to talk about my brand new show, WTMJ Outdoors. This week, we bring you some of the best of our conversations in 2025 on WTMJ Outdoors. Stories of the outdoors of Wisconsin and beyond as we celebrate everything in recreation, all the things we love to do outdoors. All things Wisconsin Outdoors. Join us every Saturday, 2 to 3, right here on 620 WTMJ.
It's WTMJ Outdoors, presented by Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Well, throughout the week, we're looking back at some of the notable storylines from the calendar year, along with our news partners at ABC, including some of the notable names that have passed on from various walks of life in our world.
In 2025, we said goodbye to many notable figures from politics, entertainment, sports, and religion.
Ave Maria.
Pope Francis passed away on April 21st, Easter Monday, at the age of 88.
You should not have to compete against a foreigner for
Conservative activist Charlie Kirk was shot and killed at a speaking event on a college campus in September.
I was a big supporter of the enhanced interrogation techniques.
While former Vice President Dick Cheney died in November after a battle with pneumonia. The film world started 2025 by mourning the death of groundbreaking director David Lynch.
I got him on the shuttle at Grand Central. Now,
later in the year, moviegoers marked the passing of Gene Hackman, Val Kilmer, Diane Keaton, and Robert Redford. Sports legends Hulk Hogan and George Foreman died this year. The science community remembered the legacy of primatologist Jane Goodall. Music fans said goodbye to the Prince of Darkness, Ozzy Osbourne, and turned up God Only Knows in honor of Beach Boys frontman Brian Wilson. Mike Dubusky, ABC News, New York.
There's a couple other names that stand out to me. Malcolm Jamal Warner was another who passed away. Remember Theo Huxtable from the hit show, The Cosby Show. And ABC and Mike Dubusky have recorded those and filed those reports, those minute-long look-backs at the notable deaths before the death of Rob Reiner, whose shocking death was announced just a couple of weeks ago, murdered by his son, allegedly. And he is being held in detention at this point. So, notable names. I to be honest, the Pope feels like it was longer than 2025. I don't know why. It just feels like that was something that happened long ago. But no, that was on Easter, fittingly, I guess.
A couple of ones I saw too. George Wendt from Cheers, the very famous actor. Of course, I know we'll get to Bob Uecker. Obviously, early this year was a big one here locally. Sister Jean from Loyola. During all those crazy basketball runs, she passed away. I think that was a month or two ago. But it is interesting. I was actually looking at some of the notable people who have passed this year. It's crazy to think because you're like, oh, I didn't even remember that.
Yeah, and you hit it right. The one that hits closest to home, of course, is Bob Uecker, who passed away mid-January. And it was at a time where the Brewers were just about to get to spring training, and you weren't sure if Bob was going to be there. Would he be calling games? We weren't sure. And certainly it was an incredible life, and we've done our best, and the Brewers have done their best to make sure that you still hear Bob Uecker on our station, right? Because he is the voice of multiple generations here, not just baseball fans, but just people living in the state of Wisconsin and really beyond. Just the ultimate entertainer, Bob Uecker, gone at the age of 90, Mr. Baseball. And we'll remember him throughout the rest of the week here on WTMJ as well. 2 o'clock news coming up in just a few minutes here. Wisconsin's Midday News podcast is built by Siding Unlimited. Please subscribe. Take us with you wherever you go, wherever you find your podcasts. You can find us. It's Wisconsin's Midday News.
Vince Vitrano here. Time to talk about that furnace and why it's a good idea to have my team from Urban Heating and Cooling get their eyes on your unit before winter takes hold. I've got the owner, Ryan Sopa, with us. And Ryan, first things first, you want to get into that home and give folks an honest assessment at how much life they have left in that furnace unit.
Correct. I mean, right now is a time to do your tune-up, your annual maintenance. When we come in, we make sure that everything is going to operate safely and properly for you for the entire season.
I always talk about an honest assessment. What you most want to do is get people a little bit more life out of the furnace that they have, right?
Yeah, our first goal with our maintenance is to come in there and make sure we can extend the life of your furnace and not replace.
All right, let's say it's getting time. I'm sure you've seen them in basements all over southeast Wisconsin, that one that's just hanging by a thread, just begging to break down when it gets really cold. So when it's time for a new furnace, let's talk first about how that process works. You come in with a free estimate?
Correct. We come in with a free estimate that's scheduled through our office. If we're there for a visit and doing our annual maintenance, we can also at that time tell you that it's time, and we can give you that quote at that time.
I'm sure there are a lot of options, too. Like, I don't even know where to start as to what brand of furnace, what size do I need?
Correct. That's great. When you call the office, we schedule everything. I'll come out, give you a free estimate, and go through multitude of options that will fit your house and fit your needs.
Important to note on cost, there are tax credits available, too, if you replace that furnace.
Correct. There's a federal tax credit that's ending this year at December 31st of $600. It's a huge discount on a furnace, and it's a good opportunity to take advantage of that.
Also still a major investment, so there are financing options. Folks can contact you about that?
Correct. We provide a multitude of different options for financing. The best thing to do is when you're ready to finance and accept an estimate, call into the office and we'll help you with that.
Talk to Janelle over there.
Janelle will help you out
Should
with
you
that.
tell her Vinny sent you?
We hear that all the time.
I'm sure she likes to hear it. Good. That's Ryan Sopa, owner of Urban Heating and Cooling. Reach out at urbanheatingandcooling.com.
Wisconsin's Morning News is here for you every weekday morning starting at 6 a.m. Vince Vitrano.
Trump administration planning to resume garnishing the wages of some student loan borrowers who are in default.
Eric Billstad.
A Milwaukee police officer taken to the hospital after getting bit by a police dog.
And traffic with Debbie Lozica.
A couple broken down vehicles out there. Actually, there's a crash also on the off-ramp to 70th Street.
The news you need to know. Wisconsin's Morning News on WTMJ.
You don't need a massive walk-in to have a beautiful, organized closet.
Tired of wasted space? Or that pile of shoes that's always hiding behind your closet door?
Abracadabra!
Inspired Closets is the expert at doubling or even tripling your storage space instantly.
It's like magic, but better, because it's custom designed for you.
We make it easy and affordable and transform your space regardless of its size or scope.
Get started today at InspiredClosetsMilwaukee.com.
Inspired Closets.
A wife and husband team.
Trusted, relevant, locally owned, locally programmed. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ Milwaukee.
It's 2 o'clock. I'm Greg Matzek. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Tuesday, December 30th. Your top story, flu cases continue to rise.
I'm Neil Doyle in for Jessica Ty. Another attack in the Caribbean.
Snow flurries expected tonight, a low of 22. Tomorrow mostly cloudy and a high of 28. It's 18 degrees and cloudy in Milwaukee at 2 o'clock. From the WTMJ breaking newsroom, parts of Wisconsin seeing an uptick in severe flu cases. Recent data from the Department of Health Services shows very high activity for influenza in the southeastern part of the state. Milwaukee County Chief Health Policy Advisor Dr. Ben Weston tells WTMJ.
If you're having just mild symptoms, usually over-the-counter medications, ibuprofen, acetaminophen, or Tylenol can help reduce those fever and ease your symptoms. If you're getting more serious symptoms, and particularly if you're in a higher risk group and you get flu, there are prescription antivirals such as Tamiflu. And these can not just lessen symptoms and shorten the time you're sick, but most importantly, they can prevent that progression to severe disease that can affect certain people.
Health officials say new influenza strain and holiday gatherings are contributing to an increase in cases.
Not just Wisconsin, but other parts of the country also being hard hit by the spread of respiratory illnesses. The CDC is set to release some updated numbers later this afternoon. As of this morning, there have been more than 5 million cases of influenza that have been reported across the country.
Federal officials continue to investigate claims of federal funding fraud in Minnesota. CBS News reporter Jonah Kaplan.
Governor Tim Walz here in Minnesota has defended his administration's handling of the fraud scandal. Federal prosecutors have identified 14 Medicaid-supported programs that are considered high risk for fraud, and new licenses have been frozen here in the state. Child care, though, is not one of those 14 programs. In the new year, we expect fresh indictments in the widening fraud probe. Jonah Kaplan, CBS News, Minneapolis.
More than 90 people are already facing various charges from those investigations.
The man accused of putting a pair of pipe bombs outside the DNC and RNC headquarters before the January 6th riot appearing in federal court this afternoon.
Federal prosecutors say shortly after his arrest, Brian Cole Jr. waived his Miranda rights and initially denied but ultimately admitted his guilt. In court papers, Cole is said by prosecutors to have explained how he learned bomb making by watching YouTube videos. He's said to have told investigators he was relieved to see the bombs did not detonate because he said he didn't want to kill anyone. When asked why he planted the devices at the two major party headquarters, prosecutors say Cole responded, "I really don't like either party at this point."
Details remain few and far between regarding a U.S. strike inside Venezuela. The Trump administration claiming that Venezuela is funneling drugs to the U.S. and says the military targeted a facility used for drug trafficking. The Trump administration today also confirming that it attacked another boat in the Caribbean, the 30th strike of its kind in the past several weeks. Reports say 2 occupants of that vessel were killed.
The parent company of Pick and Save will provide a 20% discount on fruits and vegetables for people using government assistance programs.
Kroger is launching the Verified Savings Program for anyone using SNAP, Food Share, WIC, or Medicaid. Once enrolled, participants will receive discounts through the end of January 2026, with savings loaded automatically to their accounts. The announcement comes after Kroger said it plans to close 60 locations across the U.S. through the end of 2026. Elizabeth Linton in WTMJ News.
And even with the holidays in the rearview mirror, most food pantries across the state are still asking for donations. Several food pantries, including in the Milwaukee area, reporting high requests for assistance over the past several months. Some say they've seen an increase due to the pause in federal food benefits back in October. One pantry in Green Bay says they continue to distribute over 100,000 pounds of food per week to families across northeast Wisconsin.
Time for news about your money. Here's the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Everything's sitting in the red currently, down 64 points is the Dow at 48,397. The NASDAQ off 24 at 23,449. And the S&P 500 slightly down, only about 3 points at 6,903. Financial planning at every level, Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 2:04.
She's been putting off knee surgery for years, and she had a trip coming up to Ireland, and she knew she was going to be walking a lot more than she had become accustomed to. So she finally took a chance and called for an appointment. And you know, it ended up helping her. She was able to do the walking and sightseeing pain-free. It led to an enjoyable trip, and I think we're going to be able to help her live a better life going forward. One that won't let pain stand in her way any longer. This is Rejuvenex founder Richard Salinas, and these are the kind of real-life stories I love to hear. Pain can take so much away from us, and when we can alleviate that kind of pain, it makes our purpose here at Rejuvenex that much more fulfilling. Don't let pain stand in your way any longer. Every day is precious. Take that next step. Schedule your appointment at Rejuvenex and start living your life again.
Rejuvenex. Alleviate your pain. Rejuvenate your life.
Take a look at our Google reviews to learn more.
Recently, a seller that unfortunately ended up choosing another agent called me. She said she made a mistake, and what she was expressing to me sounded like she kind of was bullied into signing with him. Is it typical? Not always, but it will never happen when you hire a Century 21 Benefit Realty agent. I want our agents to be able to look in the mirror and say, I'd want to work with me. Not because they're good at saying what you want to hear or offer the lowest commission, but because of trust. Because if you're not feeling that from your agent, that's a problem. And I don't want that. At 1.9% on the listing side of your sale with our commission capped at $19,000, Century 21 Benefit Realty leads with a very fair and transparent commission structure with maximum marketing that can get your home sold fast and for the best price. And saving money matters, but working with someone who will tell you exactly what you need to know up front That creates trust. And that matters too. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty. Benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. The Packers are locked into the number 7 seed in the NFC. They'll need to win 3 road playoff games to reach the Super Bowl.
I think it's the mindset, anytime, any place, anywhere. You just got to be ready to play ball. And can it be more challenging on the road? Absolutely. But I think that's where your preparation comes into play, making sure you're dialed in, focused. You know, the communication can be a little bit of a problem, especially in a playoff type atmosphere. But our guys have been through that. So it's not something that's overly concerning to me as long as we put in the work.
Packers head coach Matt LaFleur. The regular season wraps up Sunday in Minnesota against the Vikings. College basketball tonight. Marquette looks for a Big East win on the home floor against Seton Hall. You can hear that game on 94.5 ESPN at 6 o'clock. Badgers men's basketball team takes on the Milwaukee Panthers tonight at the Kohl Center for a 6 o'clock tip. Badger Sports Update sponsored by Siding Unlimited, siding and a whole lot more.
Take a look at the roads, your WTMJ time saver traffic. Still some issues on 41 southbound right at Blue Mound Road. Part of the right lane block there due to a crash. Emergency crews trying to get that vehicle out of there. So that is creating backups all the way to North Avenue. So again, you're slow 41 southbound right there at Blue Mound. That is due to a crash in the right lane. And then also a little bit of a backup again on 94 westbound. This is through our construction zone, but there's actually a crash near 13th Street blocking part of the left shoulder there. So a few backups there on 94 in our construction zone. Rest of the system moving along nicely.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
Shop Ken Michaels Furniture's January New Year's sale for savings up to 50% off on better quality furniture and mattresses. Showrooms in Greenfield, Brookfield, and downtown Milwaukee.
Snow flurries expected tonight with a low of 22. Mostly cloudy tomorrow with a high of 28 degrees. Sun returns on Thursday, New Year's Day, with a high of 16. Partly sunny on Friday with a high of 22. 18 degrees and cloudy in Milwaukee at 209.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzek, and in for Jessica Ty, it's Neil Doyle.
Happy to have Neil in for Jessica. She'll be back on Monday. Happy to have you along for the ride here as we approach New Year's Eve. Gina producing the program, and we've hit the 2 o'clock hour here. 1 hour to go, and some big stories that we're following.
Here's your top 2 at 2 on Wisconsin's Midday News.
National Guard troops arriving in New Orleans today to help secure the city's New Year's Eve celebrations, 1 year after the deadly attack on Bourbon Street. CBS News correspondent Michael Wallace.
Hundreds of Guard members will help with road closures around the French Quarter and other locations. Troops were also in the Big Easy earlier this year for Mardi Gras and the Super Bowl. Chris Wolf works security for the Bourbon Street nightclub, The Beach on Bourbon.
I don't think it hurts to have some National Guard guys out here. I mean, somebody did it once. Doesn't mean that they won't do it again, or at least try.
New Orleans police say the Guard troops will not be involved in the ongoing immigration enforcement in the city. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
So 350 members of the National Guard called to New Orleans and called upon by Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry, ultimately approved by President Donald Trump. The Guard troops are going to focus primarily in the French Quarter and Bourbon Street area. Not a surprise there. It's the hub of activity in New Orleans. But the deployment is expected to last for a couple of months. Think about the major events they have in New Orleans, beginning with New Year's. Then you've got the Sugar Bowl. And then you have Mardi Gras, which is like a month-long celebration in and of itself. So you've got some major events here in the first 2 months of the calendar year. And the governor down there is saying, we'll take all the help we can get. If this helps deter violent activity, we are all for it. So it's going to be at least a 2-month deployment in New Orleans.
Speaking of New Year's Eve, the big ball getting dropped tomorrow in Times Square, but they're testing things out today. Crews hoisting up the 130-foot pole, and they'll light up all the LEDs. There's about 32,000 of them that make up the Waterford crystals on the big New Year's Eve ball, so they'll get those lit up today. They'll even do a dry run. They'll drop the ball this afternoon, kind of make sure everything's working just perfectly ahead of tomorrow's big countdown. Of course, the New Year's Eve tradition in Times Square started all the way back in 1907. So again, a lot of people will be tuning in, and thousands of people going to be in Times Square for that tomorrow. But there's a lot of other fun things happening around the country as well. Dozens of other places in the U.S. are going to ring in 2026, and there are some quirky different things that happen. Everything from different assortments of fruits, vegetables, different creations that different cities like to celebrate with. A couple of interesting ones here in Wisconsin, up in Plymouth. They do the giant cheese wedge drop to kick in the new year. Also, Door County, they will drop a giant cherry to bring in 2026. So kind of a different tradition, some of those here in Wisconsin. There are some other weird ones across the country as well. They do a pine cone drop in Flagstaff, Arizona. There's a big conch shell that comes down in Key West, Florida.
Okay.
Pennsylvania's got kind of a few different bizarre ones in Pennsylvania. They do a bologna drop in Lebanon, Pennsylvania. I don't know if that's where bologna was created or something, but they drop bologna there. There's a pickleball drop in Dillsburg, and then also they do a potato chip drop in Lewistown, Pennsylvania.
I'm guessing these are all life-size or just gigantic versions of the original, right?
I've seen some pictures, yes. They are pretty large.
I mean, it's just one potato chip or one pine cone. Like, is anybody going to really see that?
Well,
you got to go big.
It doesn't really have much of an effect if it's just one. Yeah, no, but it's some different, weird, quirky ways to ring in the new year.
See, I think I'd rather see some of those than do the actual New York thing.
The New York thing
seems like a mess to me.
It seems like a lot. It's a lot of people, a lot of congestion. I would rather just watch that on TV.
Yeah, I know what you're saying out there. Greg, you're getting old. Come on, where's your sense of adventure? No, when I was in my early 20s, that seemed like a terrible idea.
I believe one of our teammates has gone to New York for the ball drop on New Year's Eve, and they said it was not the greatest experience.
Well, the bathroom situation is that could be kind of a mess.
That could be complicated.
And it's not warm either. 2:13 on WTMJ. Coming up next, looking back on another story that gained some traction, significant traction here in the final quarter of the calendar year with historic designation. We'll go through it after this.
Day after day, year after year, the heavy lifting, the repetitive motion, and now your body feels it. Your back, your knees, your quality of life.
At Access Legal, we stand up for people worn down by work.
Workers' comp is our sole focus, and our team has recovered more than $35 million for Wisconsin workers. From sudden accidents to pain that builds over years of hard work, we're dedicated to fighting for the benefits you're entitled to. If you've been worn down by work, contact Access Legal for a risk-free consultation.
Search AXIS Legal today.
Hey, fellas, are you feeling off of your game? If you feel like something is holding you back, connect with the medical professionals at Game Day Men's Health. WTMJ's Greg Matzek here. Game Day Men's Health helps guys regain their youthful edge with hormone replacement, vitamin therapy, personalized weight loss plans, plus EPAT therapy, which I've used for injuries such as plantar fasciitis or tennis elbow. And it's all under the care of experienced medical professionals. A free consultation at their clinic in Brookfield, Shorewood, Germantown, or Delafield. Game Day Men's Health. Get back in the game.
$1 doesn't buy much unless you're spending it at Griffin. For just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. We'll even show you the invoice to prove it. Our only requirements, we put them on for you. Buy one or the whole set. The dollar deal from Griffin. Milwaukee and Waukesha. Griffin. The buck stops here, but the deals on tires don't. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers.
Clouds today, high of 28, low of 22. Snow flurries expected later tonight. Kind of a dusting, according to Brian Nisnansky. Tomorrow's high 28 degrees. New Year's Day looking like sunny conditions with a high of 17. Back into the mid-20s as we round out the week. 18 degrees and cloudy in Milwaukee at 2:15. Another big story that really gained traction here during the final quarter, specifically in the month of November, pertained to two ancient buildings in the city of Milwaukee. I kind of use ancient in the word with air quotes, but they've been around for quite some time, specifically the Milwaukee Theater and Milwaukee Panthers Arena, formerly the Mecca, home of the 1971 championship-winning Milwaukee Bucks. And there's been a lot of back and forth on what should be in place of these arenas. Do they deserve historic designation to help preserve their long-term viability? Are they out of date? Are they out of function? Are they Band-Aids? Do they need repairs? $1 million in investment to kind of keep current? What about the tenants like the Milwaukee Wave and the Milwaukee Admirals? Is our arena situation in Milwaukee congested as it is with music venues? You've got a brand new venue opening up in the Deer District early next year. They've already got acts booked at the location. So it was a very interesting story to follow. WTMJ's Adam Roberts was on top of it.
The exterior of the UWM Panther Arena and Miller High Life Theater could soon include plaques designating the structures as historic buildings. On Tuesday, the city's zoning committee voted to advance a resolution granting both properties that status. The meeting included testimony for and against the plan. Supporters included representatives of arena tenants, including Milwaukee Admirals majority owner Harris Turer.
The Milwaukee Admirals are not against a convention center hotel or additional progress that the city and county want. What we are against is the knocking down of this historic arena to be replaced by a hotel.
Marty Brooks, CEO of the Wisconsin Center District, which owns the buildings, argues any talk suggesting they are being targeted for demolition is premature and inaccurate. Speaking in opposition to historic designation, Brooks believes the measure is being fast-tracked in reaction to an ongoing study examining the best use of the building's land.
We were very surprised 5 months after we announced that we were going to do this study. All of a sudden attention was given to the fact that these buildings needed historic preservation.
Brooks also warns against using fond memories of the buildings as an arguing point.
I recognize important events have occurred at both of these facilities, but those events do not live in those structures anymore. Let's not forsake progress for nostalgia.
While granting the building's historic status would not bar their potential removal, it would add the step of requiring the Historic Preservation Commission to approve renovation or deconstruction plans. The WCD board is awaiting the results of that study led by Chicago-based Hunden Partners, which is due back in January. A vote by the Milwaukee Common Council on historic designation could come as early as their next meeting on November 25th. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
So Adam's reporting there predates what ultimately happened, and ultimately these venues do have a historic designation. There will be plaques on the wall. There will be things that designated as historic, which would make their demolition far more complex, and that was kind of the idea. Let's try and preserve these buildings from Bob Bauman and others who are on that side of things. Meanwhile, the Wisconsin Center District, which owns the buildings, is like, well, wait a minute, where did this come from? Seemingly out of nowhere. We're just looking to do a study and what could go there, what makes sense. But in the interest of progress and new and shiny, I kind of had the feeling that something would have been erected on those properties and sites if this historic designation weren't in place.
It was certainly interesting how this played out, and as you know, Adam reported there in his piece, where it started with this study from the Center District, and that's kind of what got the ball rolling on wanting to give historic status to both of these sites. But then also some of the players involved. You mentioned Alderman Bob Bauman. I mean, he was the one that kind of introduced this at the committee level, and then obviously got through the Common Council. But I mean, he's also on the Center District board, which is kind of an interesting factor into this as well. So, yeah, I mean, that kind of took things locally kind of interesting the last, like you said, quarter of the year.
You know, the arena situation, especially when it comes to music, is interesting because the Milwaukee Theater and Landmark Credit Union Live, the new fancy, shiny place that's going to open next year at Deer District with acts already booked for beginning in February, very similar-sized venues. Doesn't mean they'd attract all the same sort of talent, but you feel like the same level of artist is sort of in play when you're talking about, you know, roughly 4,000-seat venue. Riverside's a little different. The Pabst is a little different. They're owned by the same group. They don't really compete against each other. They try and route appropriately based upon the act coming in. Comedy is another one that's become popular here in the state of Wisconsin. And not everybody can sell out Fiserv Forum. Not everybody can play their music at American Family Field or the Marcus Amphitheater, or Manfam Amphitheater, I should say. So you've got multiple different venues here, and maybe a little saturated, but I can't help but wonder if Landmark Credit Union Live and this music venue, multi-purpose venue, is part of the reason why they looked at the Milwaukee Theater and say, well, we don't really need that anymore. Well, what's it for? What are we doing there? I remember when the Bucks had their offices on the 4th floor. That's what it was being used for. It was kind of an office, and yeah, you might have a concert here and there.
Yeah, it is interesting, too, with now the historic status approved, but what comes of this study, because we haven't heard the results of this study yet either.
Coming.
So what is kind of found in there and what recommendations are given is going to be interesting to see.
A story to track in Q1, I believe, of 2026. It is 2:21 on WTMJ. Coming up next, we look back at one of the more notable and high-profile trials in our nation after this.
My husband's an animal in bed.
Well, you know.
Not in the fun way. Think warthog. With a chainsaw.
Snoring and sleep apnea affect over 90 million people, and 1 out of 4 couples sleep in separate rooms. Advent can help. We've been Milwaukee's one-stop solution for nasal congestion, snoring, and sleep apnea for over 20 years. Unlike many other practices, we focus exclusively on these conditions, so you get comprehensive care under one roof. Advent's unique approach can help you breathe and sleep better, and many avoid a CPAP. Plus, most insurance is accepted for our effective 20-minute in-office treatments.
Hey, the only animal you want in your bed is your dog.
Advent. Sleep better. Sleep together. Learn how you can improve your life at adventknows.com.
You should be listening to Wisconsin's Midday News with Greg Matzek and Jessica Ty each weekday.
So we now have 9 candidates on the Democratic side running for governor.
Yeah. But if you missed us, catch up anytime with our Wisconsin's Midday News podcast.
So you got Brian Windhorst saying Giannis has to be traded to the Knicks in the offseason. You've got Shams Charania saying that there's an open dialogue about Giannis's future.
Powered by Siding Unlimited. It's siding and a whole lot more.
Academic Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 255368.
Don't settle for a flimsy bank pre-approval. Get the pre-approval listing agents and sellers recognized as better than the rest. The rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval from AccuNet. Get yours by clicking on the blue button at accunet.com.
Start the new year off on a healthier note by taking active liver supplements from New Nordic every day. Available online at Amazon or newnordicusa.com or at your local CVS, ShopRite, Meijer Grocery, or Wegmans.
We continue to look back on major events in 2025 with our partners at ABC News, including the story of one of the more high-profile trials that we followed for several months that had resolution in October.
Federal prison for a music mogul after a high-profile trial. Graphic testimony from the sex trafficking and racketeering trial of Sean Diddy Combs. The star witness was his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. She testified in May. Her lawyer, Douglas Wigdor, read her statement.
I hope that my testimony has given strength and a voice to other survivors and can help others who have suffered to speak up and also heal from abuse and fear.
Combs was convicted of 2 prostitution-related offenses in July, but acquitted of the more serious crimes. The judge at sentencing in October said a 4-year sentence would send a message that domestic violence victims would be taken seriously. Combs' attorney, Alexandra Shapiro, promised to appeal, saying his life had been destroyed.
Additional incarceration isn't needed to send a message against domestic violence.
Combs is currently incarcerated at Fort Dix, New Jersey. Brian Clark, ABC News.
Yeah, this went on for several months with a resolution in October, and a jury ultimately found Combs guilty of 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. He was acquitted on several more severe charges, including racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking. I remember when this trial came down or first started, my question was, who's going to be brought to the stand? Like, how deep are you going to go? Because some of the pictures that were relayed across social media include very high-profile A-list celebrities, athletes, you name it. I mean, he had a wide circle of A-list celebrity friends and crazy parties, right, as were detailed throughout the course of testimony. Ultimately, Combs sentenced to 50 months in federal prison, followed by 5 years of supervised release. A $500,000 fine also accompanies the charges and conviction. So projected to be released in May or June of 2028. I don't think the legal story is over with Combs. This feels like a big and significant chapter, but I get the feeling it's not done.
I mean, it was a huge case. I did feel like when the verdict did come down, again, kind of a partial verdict, was acquitted, like you said, of some more serious charges. Obviously, it was huge in the news, but I I feel like a day or two after, people are like, okay, now we move on.
Yeah,
it's
just it faded quickly.
Yeah, it did.
That's an interesting observation that tends to happen in the news business, right? The cycle. I don't remember the specific event that may have caused it to go back burner when it did, but we carried the verdict right here on this program here on WTMJ. It was coming down as we were wrapping up in the 2 o'clock hour. So that was a vivid memory for me. And there'd be weekly check-ins or something along that line as the trial began. It was more like daily check-ins. And Cassie Ventura was kind of the star witness who was on stand, and in her testimony was examined in so many different ways all over the place. But, yeah, that was a high-profile trial that had its resolution in October of 2025.
And I feel like it did get maybe brought up a little bit here recently. Within the last week or two, I believe his legal team has filed an appeal of some kind, kind of going against, I think, some of the ruling from what the judge kind of went down with the sentencing. So kind of got brought up again, I guess, recently.
Yeah, news coming up here. It's 2:27 on WTMJ.
If you're looking to plan your next global experience, let Fox World Travel's vacation experts handcraft your next journey to Europe. In partnership with Globus, Insight Vacations, and Avalon Waterways, we've created outstanding itineraries with exclusive experiences to Iceland, Croatia, Spain, Portugal, and more. Or we can fully customize a journey based on your interests. Visit foxworldtravel.com or call 866-GO-FOX-GO. Join us and make memories to last a lifetime.
New Year's Eve is Wednesday. Celebrate with your kids and grandkids at the Mind Chef Family Restaurant in Hartford. WTMJ's John Merck here. You will not spend a lot of money at the Mind Chef. The all-you-can-eat New Year's Eve haddock fish fry is just $8.99. What value? Kids 5 and under eat free from the kids menu. Your kids can safely play in that world-class game room. More than 70 interactive games quietly set aside for the dining area. Your teenagers are going to love it. Enjoy a huge 18-inch pizza, a pitcher of beer or soda, and 100 game room tokens for under $45. Wow. And that pizza easily feeds a family of 4, and it is great pizza. Spend New Year's Eve with your kids at the Mine Shaft in downtown Hartford and in Oshkosh near the EAA. Lots of seating, lots of close parking, lots of great times. Create some memories at the Mine Shaft's New Year's Eve happy hour, 2 till 5, half-price cocktails, beers and appetizers, half price. Google the Mine Chef. Call and reserve your New Year's Eve family table. It's super affordable.
Education changes everything. It opens doors, shapes futures, and builds the foundation for our children's success. At City Forward Collective, we're working to transform our city's schools and ensure every Milwaukee child receives the high-quality education they deserve. We've taken real steps forward, but our work is far from done. This giving season, we're asking you to join us. Together, we can secure a stronger future for our children and a stronger future for Milwaukee. To support our mission, visit cityforwardcollective.org/donate. That's cityforwardcollective.org/donate.
Wisconsin State Fair tickets are on sale for just $13. Plus, get ready to deliver holiday bundles packed with State Fair favorites at the lowest price of the season. Get yours today at wistatefair.com before they're gone. Wisconsin State Fair, presented by U.S. Cellular, August 6th through 16th.
Spend New Year's Eve at the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club near Holy Hill. When you buy one dinner, your second dinner is free, even on New Year's Eve. Voted the best supper club and most romantic restaurant. Reserve at foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
It's 2:30. I'm Greg Matzek. This is Wisconsin's Midday News on WTMJ. It's December 30th. Your top story, flu cases number in the millions.
I'm Neil Doyle, in for Jessica Ty. More federal funds to support rural health care.
Flurries tonight, a low of 22. Mostly cloudy on tomorrow. That's Wednesday, right? With a high of 28. Thursday's high just 16 degrees with plenty of sunshine. Back into the mid-20s on Friday under cloudy skies as we round out the work week. It's currently 18 degrees and cloudy in Milwaukee.
ABC News, I'm Mike Dubusky. 7.5 million Americans now have the flu, according to new data out today from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. That's up significantly from last week when the CDC said there were approximately 4.6 million cases. Flu cases are being reported as high or very high in nearly 30 states, and the CDC also says that more than 80,000 people have been hospitalized with the illness. About 3,100 people have died. Israel now says it's going to ban 37 aid organizations, including keeping Doctors Without Borders from entering the Gaza Strip starting January 1st.
In a statement from the Israeli government to ABC News, they say that the affected NGOs have failed to meet required security and transparency standards. And they add that these findings, certain employees of internal organizations were involved in, quote, terrorist activity.
ABC's Maggie Ruley. Washington is in mourning over the death of Tatiana Schlossberg, the granddaughter of President John F. Kennedy. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 2:31. A new influenza strain and holiday gatherings are contributing to an increase in flu cases across Wisconsin. Milwaukee County Chief Health Policy Advisor Dr. Ben Weston.
Now, if you're in one of these high-risk groups, it's important to contact your doctor right when flu symptoms begin, so that you can get the right medications and the right care. Now, if you're otherwise healthy, you may still want to seek medical care if certain symptoms are getting serious, things like trouble breathing or high fever, for example.
According to the most recent data from the Department of Health Services, the southeastern portion of the state has very high activity for influenza.
Wisconsin set to receive over $200 million in funding to support rural health care. Part of the Trump administration's $50 billion Rural Health Transformation Program aimed at helping rural communities across the nation. The funds will be used to strengthen the rural health care workforce, modernize facilities and technology, and deploy high-quality health services to rural communities. Wisconsin will receive that funding over the next 5 years.
The University of Wisconsin-Madison, once again a top university when it comes to national research. According to the National Science Foundation, UW-Madison increased its overall research expenditures by 11% to a record high $1.9 billion. Nearly half of UW-Madison's total research expenditures come from federal awards. The last time the university was in the top 5 nationally, 2014.
A man in critical condition after being hit by a car in Kenosha. Police say it happened late Sunday night. They responded to 18th Street on Kenosha's north side. They found a 25-year-old man lying in the roadway, suffering from head and leg injuries. He was taken to a trauma center in Milwaukee for treatment. He remains in critical condition. Investigators determined that he was hit by a car while walking near the road. They're still looking for the suspected driver.
Cold and breezy conditions return to southeast Wisconsin as we head into the new year. TMJ4 Chief Meteorologist Brian Niznansky on Wisconsin's Morning News.
We're looking at temperatures that are going to be in the 20s, so typical, and then eventually once that cold front moves through, dipping into the single digits, and wind chills will be well below zero. Again, this is for New Year's Eve, probably I would say 8 o'clock and on, and then when you wake up New Year's Day morning, some locations could be hovering around zero.
Your complete 5-day forecast is coming up.
And if you're looking to celebrate New Year's Eve, there's a unique way you can spend it.
I just want to see our community coming back together.
Milwaukee Intertribal Circle is hosting a sobriety powwow, an open to the community event to ring in the new year and celebrate Native American culture sober. President of MIC, Deanna Porter, tells WTMJ more.
A sober event centered around Native American culture. The Native American community, as well as any of our friends and family who want to join us, we have a place to be in sobriety to celebrate our culture and to bring in the calendar new year.
The event is from 4 p.m. to 1 a.m. on New Year's Eve at the Jigwa Gymnasium downtown. Elizabeth Linton in WTMJ News.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 2:34.
At Capri Communities, they believe people of every age deserve to enjoy life.
I recently moved my dad into a Capri community. He has gained such new independence. His falls have decreased, he's eating healthy meals, and going on great new adventures. Knowing Dad is in a great place really gives me the peace of mind I needed. And now, we're both enjoying life again.
Give the care that has your parent enjoying life again at Capri Communities. Get started today at capricommunities.com.
Hey, John Mercure here for Mend Studios. You deserve to feel better. You deserve to feel healthy. You deserve to feel great about yourself. Mend Studios has a long-term wellness as the goal. That's how they're going to do it. That's how they're going to take care of you. I know and trust the therapists at Mend Studio. They customize every single treatment, and they've got multiple locations. They're in Mequon and Brookfield, both convenient, both easy to get to. Start at the website, mendstudio.com. I never feel better than I do after a session at Mend. Mendstudio.com.
Start the new year right with Norwalk Furniture on sale now at Ken Michaels Furniture. Save 35% on showroom pieces that are ready for immediate delivery, or in just 35 days, you can create a look that reflects your unique style with over 850 fabric and leather options and comfort levels, from cuddling to extra firm support. Norwalk Furniture's American roots go back over 102 years. For better quality American-made upholstery, shop the Norwalk Upholstery Sale at any Ken Michaels Furniture locations in Greenfield, Brookfield, or downtown. Better days start with a better night's sleep on a mattress from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in Milwaukee, our mattresses are custom built to your needs. We have all the comfort and firmness options to give you your best night's rest. Buying direct from our factory showrooms will save you up to 50% compared to national brands. Shop today during our New Year's sale at Ken Michaels Furniture for over 75 years of uncompromising quality, local factory direct saving, and your best night's sleep.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call that's all sports desk. The Bucks return home after a 5-game road swing, winning back-to-back games, including last night's contest. The Bucks will be on the home floor Wednesday night against the Washington Wizards. College basketball tonight from Fiserv Forum. Marquette takes on Seton Hall. Here at the game on 94.5 ESPN. It's a 6 o'clock tip. Out in Madison at the Kohl Center, the Badgers take on the Milwaukee Panthers for a 6 o'clock tip. Badger Sports Updates presented by Siding Unlimited. It's siding and a whole lot more.
Taking a look at the road, your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. Still a couple of issues. 41 southbound, that is near Blue Mound Road. Still some problems with a crash that was there earlier. It looks like they got the vehicle out of the way, but still 1 or 2 emergency vehicles on the scene. So that is causing some backups. Those start at Watertown Plank Road until you basically get through the Zoo interchange, so still some problems there on 41. Seeing some slowdowns, 94 in our construction zone, both east and westbound. Eastbound, some of those backups starting at 76th. And then if you're heading westbound, you're slowing down, hitting the brakes when you hit 35th Street. Also 94, a little bit of an issue near 13th Street, part of the left shoulder block there due to a crash.
Clouds remain in the forecast today and through the evening. Overnight low of 22 degrees. Tomorrow's high 28 degrees. We should have some clearing on Thursday, but a chilly high of 16. Friday back into the mid-20s. 18 degrees and cloudy in Milwaukee at 2:38.
It's Tech Tuesday with ABC News technology reporter Mike Dubusky.
We're not sure if he will be a judge in the upcoming AI beauty pageant, but he is our guest every Tuesday on Tech Tuesday.
The latest and greatest in the world of tech.
Tesla's next product, they call it a robo-taxi. These are AR glasses. They're called simply the Frame.
On Wisconsin's Midday News.
Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. Domo.
Well, it's our final Tech Tuesday of the calendar year 2025. What a crazy year it's been in the world of AI and autonomous vehicles and other things. We look forward now to 2026. Some big things on the horizon, as you might expect, especially the first quarter of the year. Always great to check in with our tech friend, our expert from ABC. It's Mike Dubusky. Hey, Mike.
Hey, guys. How are you?
I feel like the end of 2024 was like an introduction to AI and ChatGPT. 2025, really all about AI and some of its complexities and some of its hits and misses. And now we look forward to 2026. I don't know if everything will be perfected in 2026, but certainly a step forward here.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is something that we've observed in the AI race for the last few years now, is that in the, immediate aftermath of ChatGPT launching in, the fall of 2022, we saw this sort of meteoric rise of these AI technologies, right? They seemingly got more and more advanced with every new product launch. Now, though, we've reached sort of a maturity stage with a lot of these large language models. Things like GPT-5, which is kind of the technological engine that underpins ChatGPT, well, it made improvements over GPT-4, the one that came before it, but it wasn't certainly a revolution that we've come to expect. And that's kind of permeated the entire industry. It seems like the capabilities of these models are going to continue to get better, but they are going to get better at a slower pace than we've observed in the last few years. I think one of the big things that we're going to keep an eye on, especially in the early part of 2026, is CES. CES used to be called the Consumer Electronics Show. Now it's just called CES. They only like it when you call it at CES. But this is a big tech trade show, and for the last few years, it has been dominated by artificial intelligence products, specifically like AI hardware. It usually has an opportunity to break out here, and I think that's going to give us a nice little snapshot of the industry when it kicks off next week as to exactly where we stand when it comes to artificial intelligence, when it comes to generative AI making its way into devices that you or I might buy and carry around with us, and how that industry is confronting the numerous challenges that it's facing as we enter the new year.
Yeah, artificial intelligence and automation, those are the two big things for me. That's where my mind goes immediately. How are these AI agents going to evolve from tools that, we use daily in work, and what can they handle? I guess that's the next step. Just how far and how deep can we go when we're asking some device to do something for us?
Yeah, I think if we rewind like a year or so, AI agents were going to be the big new AI advancement of 2025. And AI agents are basically, versions of large language model technology that have agency, that can go out and do things for you. As opposed to ChatGPT, which can answer questions for you, an AI agent can go buy something off of Walmart's website or book a trip for you or something like that. The actual capability of these agents have so far been pretty lacking. There have been a number of companies, Google among them, who have started to bake AI agents into some of their products, their web browsers, for example. So, you might be scrolling the web and, come across a YouTube video with a product in it that you might want to buy. Well, you can just kind of go ask that thing to go purchase that for you. The actual act of doing that still needs a lot of polishing, it seems like. And I think that specifically in the sort of AI agentic piece of the AI race is going to get a lot of attention in 2026. At the end of the day, the AI industry, whether it be agentic or not, still is confronting this unreliability problem in a pretty big way, right? These models, for as advanced as they are and for how much ground they've covered since 2022, they still regularly hallucinate. They make things up. They say unusual things. And when you add sort of an agency capability to it, where it might be handling your credit card information, well, that compounds a lot of the issues and concerns around this hallucination problem. We'll have to see if that gets better in 2026, but it's something that has dogged the industry for years.
I'm wondering if locally the construction of data centers, especially here in the state of Wisconsin, which is already underway, by the way, with Microsoft, Vantage, Oracle, all having a stake here in the state of Wisconsin, will that help things become more reliable in the world of supercomputing?
That is definitely the line that we're hearing from Silicon Valley, right? That with scale, with additional computing power, these models will get better. They will get more reliable, that we will basically minimize the hallucination problem to a point that it is just not really a thing that we worry about that much anymore. However, you're seeing investors become increasingly skeptical of the ask that these technological companies are making when it comes to building out data centers, buying very advanced computing chips, and hiring top-level talent to train these models. All of that costs a lot of money. Meta spent in the 9 figures to hire some of the top AI talent onto their AI teams. We know that OpenAI and Google and others have been on this huge spending spree over the last year or so building out these data centers. OpenAI recently estimated that by the end of the decade, they might need $1 trillion in order to hit the level of compute power that they think is necessary in order to move this technology forward. So far, none of these companies are really making that much money off of their artificial intelligence efforts. They're certainly making, some money off of subscriptions and, through corporate partnerships with, certain other companies. But the spend is way higher than the actual profit here. And I think that is why you're hearing increasing speculation that we could be overinflating the value of a lot of these companies, that we might be in an AI bubble. Even Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, recently said, yeah, it's possible that we are overinflating the value of these AI companies, and that sent some real reverberations around the industry.
Where does the world of autonomous vehicles go in 2026? We've seen an introduction and a bit of expansion, albeit with some technical glitches and issues and power outage in the Bay Area, and all of a sudden Waymo doesn't know where to go. So there are unintended consequences, I suppose, with this development and advent in technology. But where does this world travel to in 2026?
Yeah, automated vehicles, or AVs as they're known, had a really big big 2025. You mentioned Waymo there, which is owned by Google parent company Alphabet. They saw huge expansion in 2025 to new cities, to new environments. They began testing their vehicles here in New York City as well. Northern cities deal with inclement weather and poor roads, which is something that, previously these automated vehicles have not really had to encounter just yet. However, you mentioned that we are running into some challenges here, and that's absolutely right. We've seen Waymos, drive through police incidents. We've seen Waymos, behave erratically in certain situations. But you talk to people who are in the AV industry, and you talk to medical experts as well, and they say, at scale, robotically driven cars are way safer than human drivers are. And we are in the early stages of this, certainly. And there's a trust factor that passengers need to confront if they are going to get into one of these things. But, the blue sky future here is that these are a much safer way to do our transit than we currently do now, where, humans are imperfect to a degree that, supersedes humans in a lot of ways. So it's an interesting situation to find ourselves in. Waymo, for its part, says they plan to expand to 20 new cities by the end of 2026. They recently, made some major milestones when it comes to actual paid rides, but they have challengers in the form of Zoox from Amazon, which has been slowly rolling out its automated vehicles as well in places like Las Vegas. And let's not count out Tesla. Tesla says that, this is going to be the next evolution of the whole company, right? This is Elon Musk's big plan for this electric car company, is to move it into the space of autonomous vehicles. They've started testing in places like Austin. They have announced that, recently that they're going to take the safety driver out of the car because they're confident enough in the technology to do that. Going forward, we're just going to have to see how that battle plays out. But so far, Waymo is very much in the lead.
Yeah, very cool stuff here. Looking forward to 2026. An amazing tech here. Technology always increasing efficiency. Well, hopefully that increases as well here in the world of artificial intelligence. Always great to check in, Mike. Hope you have a great new year. We'll check in again next week.
Same to you, Greg. Happy 2026.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. You ever wonder how your house would look if it were a different color or had a new roof or maybe a splashy front door? Well, you can see for yourself just by going to TriCountyContractingWI.com. Add a photo of your house and design a new look. Then call them when you're ready. TriCountyContractingWI.com. It's worry-free roofing, siding, and windows. TriCountyContractingWI.com.
From the biggest plays on the court to the comments made in the locker room after. An in-depth recap of every Bucks game in 6 minutes. No more, no less. Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus Audio Network. If you missed any of the game or just want to relive the biggest moments, Bucks in 6 provides game recaps every morning after. Hear the high-flying dunks from Giannis or the deep threes from Miles Turner. And catch the comments post-game about what happened on the court. Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus Audio Network. Find it now on Bucks.com/plus or on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Here's a dose of reality. Driving under the influence of prescription painkillers is just as illegal and just as deadly as driving drunk. In fact, there are nearly 2,000 drug-related crashes every year in Wisconsin. Help prevent drug driving, and let's achieve 0 preventable deaths on Wisconsin roadways. Driving on pills kills. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Departments of Health Services, Transportation, and Justice.
It's a robber, and if you ignore it, it will just keep taking and taking. I know how pain can consume you. It steals the fun out of life. It steals your energy. And it's just a dark cloud over a lot of people's lives, even on the sunniest of days. But your joint pain does not have to rob you of your life or your happiness. Because at Rejuvenex, we can alleviate your pain, and that can rejuvenate your life. In a world where big box healthcare has driven pain treatment costs through the roof and has made it look like joint replacements are your only option, Rejuvenex has kept pain treatment affordable for almost anyone. And for most with insurance, including Medicare and Medicaid, we've seen pain treatment paid for by insurance with 0 out-of-pocket cost to our patients. This is Rejuvenex founder Richard Salinas. Don't let pain rob you. Take action today, so we can help make your joint pain go away.
Rejuvenex. Alleviate your pain. Rejuvenate your life.
Call today, and there's a good chance we'll see you tomorrow.
M.W. Marine.
The
6th annual Hales Corners Hometown Boat Show is back at MW Marine starting January 5th. Check out the newest fishing boats from Lund, Vexus, and Ranger, all powered by Mercury Outboards. Grab a gorgeous 2026 model or save big on remaining 2025 Mercury-powered boats with substantial rebates. So get to MW Marine starting January 5th. Free parking and free admission. Don't miss the Hometown Boat Show at MW Marine, MWMarine.com.
22-year overnight lows. Some flurries are expected. Nothing to worry about in terms of accumulation, however. Tomorrow's high 28 degrees. The sun returns on Thursday with a high of 17 on New Year's Day. Back into the mid-20s for your high on Friday. It's 19 degrees and cloudy in Milwaukee at 2:51. Greg and Neil wrapping things up here on Wisconsin's Midday News. Thanks for hanging out, Neil. Appreciate you being here.
No, thanks for having me.
You brought up Bob Uecker's name when we were talking about notable names lost in 2025, and none hit harder, I think, in the state of Wisconsin than the great Bob Uecker. And it happened while I was on vacation. I remember that day, sadly, as trying to have some family fun and learning of Bob's passing. And, he'd been battling a health issue for some months and seemed to have dodged all the health issues throughout the course of his adult life. And, boy, we were understanding that this day would happen at some point, but certainly saddened by the passing of Bob Uecker. Some of his best calls, some of his most memorable calls. We'll leave you with that today to close out your Tuesday afternoon.
The arm is back. Here he comes. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Goodbye, Detroit. Hello, New York. Hi, rolling fingers. What a job he is being mobbed by his teammates. He's done it. 3,000 for Robin. 39 strike for Molitor. 12 in a row on a two-run blast by Swaim to win it. Oh, my goodness. Holy cow. Do you believe it? A swing and a drive to center. Robin chasing. Long run. He's got it with a diving catch. And Nieves has made history here in Baltimore. And the Brewers have won. They are going to the playoffs. Banners are streaming down from the upper reaches of Miller Park. Oh, what a shot by Fielder. Look out, here he comes. They're waiting at home plate for him. He took a running jump on the whole pile. He could have taken everybody down with him, and he almost did. He's ready and delivers. Morgan, a smash up the middle. Base hit to center. Here comes Gomez. Around third. A throw, and the Brewers win. The Brewers are moving on. The pitch. Swinging fly to left. This should do it. Yelich is there. It's over. And the Brewers are Central Division champions. Ryan Braun sends it to left center and deep. Get up. Get out of here. Gone for Ryan Braun. He just hit a walk-off out of here. Here it is. Yelich knocks one to the gap in right center. This could be the one. He's going to be held to a double. He's trying for three. He's going to do it. Get down. He's in there. Wow. They're on their feet here. So are we. 5-4 Brewers in the ninth. 1-0. Swinging fly ball right center on the warning track at the wall. Leaping and caught by Lorenzo Cain. And this one is over. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. He just hit a walk-off out of here. That didn't take long at all. Get up. Get up. Get out of here and gone. Get up. Get up in that upper deck. Get out of here and gone. How do you top this one? Holy cow. Do you believe it? It is a very sad time for me. For I have been here as a fan, as a player, and for the last 30 years as a broadcaster. But tonight is the final curtain. It's time to say goodbye. We will never forget you for what was, will always be. So long, old friend, and good night, everybody.
Day after day, year after year, the heavy lifting, the repetitive motion, and now your body feels it. Your back, your knees, your quality of life.
At Access Legal, we stand up for people worn down.